The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This week on Nude Clan. Nude Clan. This week on Nude Clan. Who we are, what we want, and how naked we're willing to get. Enjoy.
Shall we play a game?
Player to another.
Welcome to the second pilot of the Nude Clan Gaming Show. I am your host, Caleb.
I'm your other host, Joe.
I'm Kaleb Craig.
And I am Cameron Wilson.
And we
Don't listen to those two
are finally doing it. We're finally having a gaming podcast.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do it.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, Joe's gay, the rest are straight, and...
Why is that pertinent information?
Well, Joe, it's what your mom told me you're afraid of.
Okay, listen. My mom did think I was gay, or that she suspected that I was gay. I am not gay. I'm not gay, Mom!
My mom has never asked me if I was gay.
Theater.
I think it was the musical theater. I really do. I think it was that I was really into musical theater in high school, and she was like, and I hadn't dated anyone, and she came out to me, she's like, hey, Joe, do you like girls?
So first it
I was like, yes. Well, here's the thing. I'm wondering, is it like normal for... Because it's not for me. Is it normal for a high school boy to come home to their mom and say, this chick? Let me tell you, the rack on this. Oh, man.
No.
I want to get in there.
No, but
Is that normal?
No, not at all.
it's
Okay.
no, it's not normal, but none of us did that or were asked if we like girls.
I think just the fact that we spent time with girls every now and then was proof enough.
I had friends that were girls. I wasn't dating them.
See, that's the thing. They were friends.
Friends that are girls equals gay. Theater equals gay. Joe equals friends plus girls.
Okay.
And thus, I'm just going through the mentality. But anyway, we wanted to do this gaming show because we all, obviously, we love video games. I mean, we enjoy playing them.
There's nothing wrong with a gay person. I just am not gay.
Look, man, we accept you. So...
We accept it.
Initially, Kaleb Craig and I, we were talking, we've been in cahoots for a while about doing a gaming thing. We've always been into games. We've always talked about making some, like, gaming utopia, some sort of shop where you can chill, and then there's, like, awesome food. You'd make burgers, and we all had this grand idea. That shit's never gonna happen, but this will.
This is the most we can do for you.
Yeah, we cannot cook for you.
Just imagine Caleb's burgers.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're good.
They are
man.
pretty good.
So
Only
yeah,
the four of us can actually imagine my burgers.
it's true.
Just imagine the best burger we've had and then a side of Mountain Dew.
And make sure the burger is slightly undercooked.
But see, that's how you get the taste.
That's only happened like twice.
But yeah, we wanted to do this a while ago, and we did. We recorded a first pilot episode, and we released it in our Ultima Final Fantasy feed. Of course, Joe and I are hosts on that show. It's a great show.
It is a great show. It's probably the best video game show,
I don't know about that.
right? What do you say? What show's better?
Well, obviously this one's better.
Well, this one will be, unless
This
of
one
course,
isn't a show yet.
unless of course the talent Joe and I are tainted by you two. No, but we've had Kaleb Craig on there a few times, and we kind of wanted to wait. You know, me and him were kind of wanting to do it, and then I talked to Joe about it, and he wasn't into it at first. He didn't want to join because he had other projects going, and then he also brought a good point up of
I had a mastermind plan, is what I had.
He has lots of those.
He likes to believe he's an evil genius.
It's not that I'm an evil genius. I'm just evil.
Did you say evil genus?
Genus, species, whatever. Dogs are wolves. Wolves are dogs. I'm not going to bring that
We're not going to talk about it anymore.
I'm right. Anyway. Here's the thing. To me, it was creating a network, and we decided to start with one show. And just a few months after that show started, I already had itchings for other shows.
Yeah, so did I. We were into it.
Exactly. And it was let's just have a video game show. Kaleb Craig was really into that idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was it might not be time. And so the first thing we tried to do was a Zelda podcast, which
that
has now failed with 2 different pilots.
Yes.
Twice.
Oh, you did another pilot?
We did another pilot, and it failed, by the way. Here's the thing.
We stopped playing. But
We had Kaleb Craig here, and we also had our friend Dylan, who's a traitor and a bastard. We'll hear more about that soon. We had them create a Zelda podcast. Unfortunately, we got 2 introverts in a room talking to each other, and that is not good radio. Not good radio to me or to anyone else. Am I?
Do you like radio?
Yeah, Zelda. There's
Did
not
you
really-
listen to
It's
it?
not very good if I'm the one who has to start conversations.
Yeah, Caleb's way too quiet for that shit.
Anyway, so it's better to have either of those 2 guys as a sidekicky kind of role, or in something like this where it's a big circle of us and anybody
Big
can
circle jerk,
Anybody can talk and
It is a
circle
circle
jerk
jerk.
their
We're doing
way
it now.
into a climax.
Who gets the cookie at the end?
I don't know if any of us wants that cookie.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, I figured we'd all want it. Maybe it's just me.
You can have.
Well, we put out the pilot, and Ultima Final Fantasy, I felt hadn't built up enough for anything,
Yeah, we didn't have the base we wanted.
We didn't have the base we wanted before we were going to put out this new thing.
And a video game show, there's already tons of them already.
Yeah, that's it.
That was the reason why we had to have a decent base.
The market is flooded with video game shows.
Oh, yeah.
It's overly saturated with just video game shows. 'Cause
Right.
This
And
is a
really
show
big ones, too.
that's going to be news and reviews. Now get on the iTunes and look for video games, and there's just going to be tons of just video games.
Yeah, there's a fuckload of shows.
And for me, it was hey, wait until Ultima Final Fantasy is a success, and then do this other show. So we waited until about 2 months ago, and our Ultima Final Fantasy show got into the top 200 video game podcasts on iTunes. And about once a week, we go up there for a little while, and then of course we go back down when the episode's not up. But anyway, that's where I was okay, this is my measure of success. This is Ultima Final Fantasy is a success. It has ranked. Basically, it's in the Billboard top 200 for video game podcasts on iTunes, whatever. And so, now is the perfect time to start this show. Perfect time.
And then we all got together. There was 5 of us initially, and one of us wasn't happy with what we did with the Zelda show, which admittedly Joe and I did slack. We didn't play the game, and we've made
that's
time.
a pretty big slack.
We've made time for other games, but not Zelda. But it's just, I don't know. It's just not time for that.
Look, man, it was over. It was too much. It was just too much, Caleb.
The first Zelda is too much.
It is, and then we'd have to play 2 without save states because I have it on the Wii.
I was thinking about
that would be
switching over
awful.
to an emulator, I'll be honest, and I'm anti-emulation, by the way, for the most part, guys. And I will probably go off on piracy at some point. But I was seriously considering just taking that first Zelda and replaying it on an emulator.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Up to where I had
we
gone.
were just
For speed.
unmotivated. Only one of us was really, really into this series, and he's the one who quit.
We disappointed him.
So I don't blame him too much for it. It is kind of an insult that he doesn't want to be on here, but whatever. We'll go on without it.
All right. Well,
And we just decided now is the time, and suddenly Joe wanted to be part of it initially. When we talked about it, you didn't want to.
Yeah, Joe didn't want to have.
I'm still at the
he didn't
point.
want to have
Okay.
to run the show. Is what he didn't want to have to do.
No, there's that, and then it's also he felt like he hadn't played enough stuff to really, truly
still feel that way.
have
by
a
the way.
place. No, that's okay. We all feel that way, but that's kind of part of it. That's part of it. That's why we're trying to play more. We're trying to open up to great series and review those series. And that is our objective, to talk about big stuff and review games.
Yeah.
Cameron Wilson, how did you get into video games?
How did I get into video games? This is like, this one kid on the corner enticed me with a little bit of video game, and then I got hooked.
Showed a little leg.
Come here, kid.
And then
You want to have a good time?
Want some candy?
come check out this here video game.
Damn, your story's way better than mine.
That's how
There was
it
a fan?
It's the Gateway.
I don't
Arcade,
remember
right?
much.
The Gateway Arcade, and then it sneaks into your home, into your personal life.
The Gateway Arcade.
Yeah.
No,
Soon you'll just want more and
from
more.
when I can remember video games, I guess we just always had a Super Nintendo, or it could have been one of my sister's Super Nintendo. I played that. There was the Mario game on it, but then the one I remember most is, I know you guys don't think this is a video game, but there's like this Mickey Mouse video game.
That's not a video game.
There's no such thing.
A Mickey
I'll look it
Mouse
up.
video game?
I
Bullshit.
What the
swear-
fuck is Mickey
I swear
Mouse?
There's a Mickey Mouse video game. I have to look it up.
Keep making up stories like that. I don't like
But
it.
then I really didn't get into video games until I went over to a friend's house and he had a N64. Now, that was good.
Yeah, you like the raping of your thumbs from those fucking controllers.
Those are the worst controllers of all
Trident
time.
controller.
Yeah.
There's someone who is going to disagree with you on that.
Oh?
I bet if Dylan the traitor were here, he would disagree with you on that.
They're atrocious.
I don't remember.
I
What would you say is
agree.
the worst?
They're the only ones that have made me in pain from video games.
It's the one that caused my arthritis in my hand.
Let me just say something about the N64 real quick. A quick tangent from your N64. Do you remember hotel rooms, guys? And they used to have N64s in the hotel rooms.
I think
No.
I remember that.
I do.
You had to pay to use it.
Yeah, you got to pay to use the N64, but it was there. It was,
That's the
I don't
only
remember
console
that
that's
at
ever
all.
done that with.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Sure? Really?
Yeah,
It must
I
have been
remember
some
that.
sort of demo 64 thing.
Huh.
And they have it for the hotel. I remember going to hotel rooms
remember that.
and there being N64s.
I remember there being one. I don't know what.
Is that how your mom sounds like, Cameron?
Sometimes.
Your mom's bassy.
Both mother and father.
Yeah. Mater.
I am parent.
Oh, yeah, so crazy thing. I just remembered that when you were talking about the N64. I was like, I remember like going on a trip to St. George as a kid. And
And there was an N64.
N64 in the hotel. Please don't do that.
I know.
That's
Fuck
the
BuzzFeed, first off. Fuck everyone on Facebook who doesn't just have a status message or something like that. They have to keep, and I'm guilty of this, but I'm going to try to stop doing this. They keep just sharing funny pictures or quotes, fucking quotes everywhere.
Oh, fuck you about the quote.
No. Quotes that you type in mean that you have some kind of personal connection to them. A quote that you're sharing from another friend with a little image on it that's been just
You don't
circling
type
around.
it in. You
That's
come from. It comes from
That's
Goodreads.
fucking
you fuck.
annoying. No, it comes from my Kindle. It comes from my Kindle. I highlight it and then I put it on Twitter.
Most of them show up as a Goodreads quote,
And it's
Yeah,
not.
it says Goodreads on it, dude.
which is the same shit as
fuck.
someone else.
All right.
Although yours won't be misspelled like half of those. I'll give you that. The your would be the wrong
not.
fucking your.
I have to go check, but I think my last Facebook status update was a period. And that was it.
You had your period.
You had
No, just a period. I put one little dot.
Feeling period.
Just period. And the funny thing is, when
You're
I did it,
feeling periody,
someone
huh?
they like the little period. I'm like,
Okay,
I'm not going to make a
At
statement.
least you put something in there.
I had to, because I had to get rid of my last status.
All right, so N64. What did
was
you
your
play?
last status?
I
Now
don't even remember. This is years ago.
Oh, okay.
That's
all right.
how.
Is that how that works? You just make a new one and then it
That's
just
how
gets
it
rid of
used
the
to
old
work.
one?
That's how it used to
No.
work.
No,
That's
you can just
old
scroll
Facebook.
down and see everything on Facebook now, including
Yeah.
from when you first started posting.
Right. So I'll have to take a look. Or knowing Joe, he'll take a look for me.
First off, fuck you. Second off, our audience has no context for that comment whatsoever.
They do now.
No, they don't.
So back to N64.
N64.
I think the first this is when I was young, guys. GoldenEye. That was the game that got me into video games, and I think there was that snow level in the N64, and I just got out his silenced. What was it again? The silenced
9mm.
P something or another.
P38.
Silence penis.
Sorry to all of you, James Bond.
Nile.
Anyways, I would just that one satellite level, I would just climb on top of a hill because the enemies would endlessly spawn. So it was like the first survival game for me to ever play. I'm just on top of this hill and all these white.
Isn't every game a survival game? Let's be clear here.
Probably.
And I just pop in the head with a silenced pistol. But then after that, Super Smash Bros.
Okay.
On the N64?
Yeah.
What about Star Wars Pod Racer?
I
Did not play that?
I played it, but I'm not going to say where.
I played the fuck out of that game.
I didn't play it. I didn't play it.
So, Star Wars Pod Racer for you, Kaleb Craig?
Is that your first video game?
It was on N64. No, it wasn't my first video
Well, what
game.
was?
Well, it was probably Mario Bros. 3 on the NES, the NES. I didn't actually have a NES.
That's a
I was
Nintendo Entertainment System for any of you guys out there who aren't familiar.
Yeah, people who don't know. Listen to a video game.
See, I say
podcast.
NES and I say Super NES.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah. Some people are like SNES or SNES, and that's like,
Or
fuck you.
SNES.
Yeah, SNES.
That's acceptable.
Yeah, I can live with that. I guess it doesn't actually matter. It's an acronym. Whatever.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
It doesn't matter. After that, it would probably be Super Street Fighter 2 and Ninja Turtles in Time. And I don't know if any of you guys have played the game.
I think I might have. Is it a platformer?
It was sort of a platformer. It's like a side-scroller beat-em-up, which gave me the love for those games and also the vast hate.
That was on the
Wait
NES.
a minute. That's tickling the edge of my memory.
Was that on the NES?
It's not the
It
only
was
thing
on the
that's
NES.
technically
Well,
me.
no, it was on the Super NES.
Oh, okay. Well, then no. Okay. There was a Ninja Turtle game for the NES that I had.
Is that your first game?
No.
Oh, well, what is?
My first game is probably Super Mario Bros. Or Duck Hunt. Both of those I remember very fondly as a kid in rural Colorado.
Isn't that also the one game you had that gun you can hook up to it?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
I
the gun.
remember that. That was
Duck Hunt is the greatest thing ever made.
Hate
that dog though.
You hate Duck Hunt?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he couldn't hit anything. That's why.
He's blind.
Why couldn't you hit anything?
No, I could hit stuff. It's just I didn't really get much opportunity to play that game. Like
you
nobody
hate it?
I knew
That's
had it,
what
so
you
I
hate
played
it?
it like one time, and I sucked at it. So like I hate it.
That he has the reflexes of a
If that were the
Yeah?
case, you should hate almost everything you try to play.
Oh yeah,
Let's be honest here.
that's the way it's gonna go.
Yeah, take it.
You like that burn?
Need to burn you.
Here's some ointment, you
quick
fuck.
pick something up.
Yeah.
Schweiss, what about you? What was your first video game?
Oh man, first one. It might be. I remember when I was a kid, I used to have this. I think it was a Sega Dreamcast. No, Genesis.
Genesis.
Man, you always
Sega
get those
did
mixed up.
I don't know because I don't care about either of them anymore.
It's the Dream Assist.
So I was going to say my favorite
Dreamers.
station though growing up was the Genesis. That was my favorite.
I
played
loved
that
it
all the time.
I had
Still never touched it.
really. It's got a
Really?
lot of good stuff.
Dude,
I
it
played.
was amazing.
I played the Sonic games, the first two
I
original
I think
ones.
I've only played Sonic on that thing.
And then I think I played a Castlevania game, although that might have been on the Super Nintendo. I'm not sure. I know there's a bunch of them on the
I
Super.
honestly can't remember if there's a Castlevania game on the Genesis.
But I remember those are my two earliest memories of actual video games. And then
favorite-
like Dr. Mario
My favorite two
occasionally.
video games on that was there was that NBA game where it's 4-on-4 and you can do these super awesome dunks.
it like
in the
Jam?
Mortal Kombat game. I love NBA Jam or something like that.
Welcome to the NBA
And then
Jam.
I had that Genesis for so long that if you were to ever bump it while I was playing, instant frozen. Just it was awesome.
Dang, isn't that weird to think about how there used to be all these video game consoles and now there's just the three really?
Yeah.
Like Sega had their...
Weren't there only 3 then?
No, there was a ton, dude.
there was a ton.
There was PlayStation. I mean, there was the Genesis. There was Nintendo. There's all
ColecoVision.
these. Yeah, there's a bunch of different.
Well, I'm thinking there are more consoles now than just the 3. I know there's indie consoles out there. I think there were some at my
there's like this
my
Steam
university
one that's out now.
Steam
that some
console
people had made.
Now we're talking about like mainstream though. These
Right,
were
I
on the
know.
market competing
But I think
for the top spot.
when I think of those that are competing for the top spot, I'm thinking of 3 from the 2 generations ago. I'm thinking of the Sega whatever, and then the PlayStation and the N64. What's the 4th?
There was
I know the Atari was the generation before.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I guess what I'm getting at is it's weird to see these companies that used to have consoles accepting their fates and now just making games. So now we've got
Sega and Atari are
yeah.
gone.
Sega makes video games now.
Right.
I don't even know what Atari does, if anything. I don't think they.
They sell one
They
of those,
still-
like, multi-pack like consoles you can hook up to your TV.
Yeah.
Namco.
Like, play all these old
Love
games all
Namco.
right.
Is that theirs really?
I don't know. It's
Oh,
just,
what is that? The Retron? Is that what those are?
No, the Retron is
The Retron's the thing that
different
you
thing.
can put in a whole bunch of different stuff from a bunch of
Yeah, I
different
want one of
systems.
those. It's,
Dude, I hope they come out with Retron 6 soon. And 64 support. Oh, yeah,
wow.
baby.
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's like a patent on the design for the N64 receiver, so they can't like use it right now until the patent's up, and then the Retron 6 will come out.
nice. Well, I already have a 64, so I'll probably
Yeah, I
just
guess
buy
you don't
5.
really need that.
So, I don't know. One of the other things I want to touch on is the name Nude Clan. I want to discuss the origins
Yes.
of the Nude Clan. So, back in the day,
All right, let's take off our clothes, guys. We're gonna get naked in here.
we are. It's
What are you talking about?
Live
Half
always-
of us are already naked.
live always in nude.
Let me get the other half out.
The other half. Nice. So, when I first started working, I was I was a really big
Working on
fan
what?
of working as an adult, like a
You
job.
work?
Yes.
Oh, we're video
Holy
gamers. We don't have
shit.
jobs.
Yeah, clearly.
Sorry.
But anyway, when I started working full time, I finally decided, you know what? I've loved my PS2 for so long. It's time to get a PS3 because that's the new
I
thing.
thought you were gonna say put your dick in it.
Online is online is so much
Take out
better.
the hard drive,
Yeah,
lube it up.
and I just could not play Black Hawk Down anymore. It was so shitty and amazing at the same time.
There's a Black Hawk Down video game?
Yeah, it's Delta
So-
Force, Black Hawk Down.
Oh, so
It's
it's not
not-
based on the movie.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's amazing though. It's a lot of fun, but it's super corrupt, and I got tired of it. So I pick up the game, and I'm like, all right, I like shooters. Obviously, I like a lot of RPGs and other things as well, but I really wanted a shooter, and I was like, okay. World at War is the newest Call of Duty game. Call of Duty is getting pretty big. I'm like, all right, well, I'll get World at War. So I pick it up. I get to like level 10 or 15 or something like that, and it's like, oh, you can now make a clan name. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was really immature at the time. More often than now. Yeah.
At the time.
Fuck you. And I was
Time.
so
At the time.
I had even
You want me
gone.
to say it again? I'll say it again.
I had even gone to the point where I created this Zeusk thing on Facebook. They used to have that little dating app. Remember that? I created a profile.
I never, ever clicked on one of those links.
I made a profile where all the
Tells all.
there's like a thing.
Find my MySpace page.
Yeah, no shit. I actually deleted that, but
I think mine's still there.
nice. I created
shit.
one and. Everything I just put was like naked. It was like best date.
Yeah,
And I was like in the nude and then like all these different versions of the word naked.
You still think that way, right?
Yeah, I do. And
Even there was a time though
just
where,
put it out there now.
where we would say the word naked in place where other noble people would say cool.
yeah, we would all say, "Oh, that was naked." Like that was our thing.
That was
And so yeah, that is our word.
You can't use that.
You can't use that word. That's ours. So anyway, I get into this thing and it's like, oh, we'll create a clan. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to make it naked. So I try to type in naked. Naked's too long. And I'm just like,
letters only.
let's do Nude. And then from then on, every time we all got someone new into Call of Duty, I would just create the little clan tag Nude, and we'd just be Nude Clan.
Yeah.
And we would wreck face when we got really into it, like on Black Ops.
As a disgusting.
We would just hammer face with our Nude. And it was,
Well, actually, no. I was the one getting fucked when we play Black Ops.
true. Caleb is atrocious.
Just put the
that
controller
game.
on.
No, it's just because like the game hates me and I absorbed
it's
all
the
the
game.
shit, and so everybody else could do good.
Every game.
With no
It's-
context for that sentence, Caleb, what you said was just disgusting. I would always get fucked during the game, and then there'd be a bunch of shit, and all the shit would come to me.
Well, I think within context of this being a game show.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't
A
take it.
gaming show, sorry.
And we just
No one's
literally
playing
talked
anything
about a
today.
game that we played.
So yeah, that's where Nude Clan comes from. That is why we walk always in nude.
So I guess our trial, our initiation was World at War and becoming Nude Clan.
Yeah, that was the first game that Nude Clan existed. And now there's another Nude Clan in the Call of Duty universe, and they kicked our trash.
Oh, no.
We fought against them, and they were crazy.
No.
I know. They
Those
told us
bastards.
they told us to give up the tag, and I told them to fuck themselves, and then I left.
We were
But,
first.
Yeah, guys, give it up. 8-year-olds.
Yeah, I'm like, how about you go to school? You know?
I took your mom to school.
Yeah. Look, kid, I'll fuck you up. You understand?
Wasn't that always something that you would like get on Xbox Live and play some Halo
Yeah.
or play Call of Duty or something like that?
Definitely.
And there'd be the voice of the kid on with the 360. This happened every single time. There'd be like the voice. The voice would always be prepubescent. There was no pubescent person on Xbox Live with the mic on ever.
Yeah.
It's always a child, and it's always off-putting when you suck ass in comparison to them.
It is always
I just
rough.
wanted to put that down.
It is always pretty rough.
See, Joe, their parents actually let them play video games.
And they became gaming prodigies.
Yeah, prodigies.
Yep. Hey, man, if they make money...
Someday you'll make up to $20,000 once a year if you win a contest.
I think
Dun,
they do
dun.
one now.
I don't know. There's some streamers that...
Only certain people.
There's streamers that make
Well,
pretty decent
streaming
money.
is a new thing.
and for certain games.
What is it at for League now?
It's
What do you
big.
win? Yeah.
Yeah.
People get like millions.
We're
For,
going to make millions.
they got to be good though. We're talking like sick good. Way too much
So you
time.
mean from the cradle.
Yeah.
They're playing these video games.
and they also have to be South Korean, so maybe we shouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Must
Yeah, you pretty much have to be Korean in
Give them-
order
give
to
them
like
the controller.
professionally play PC
Why you know
games.
League Master?
can't do that.
Why you know Go Baron? You know, it's interesting, but I don't know
Racist prick.
So we played League for a while. I mean,
stopped
we've all gone
myself from
through.
doing it. I didn't do it.
There are no holds barred, guys. So, I mean, what kind of games do we normally like to play? I mean, most of our audience knows Joe and I. We like to play a lot of RPGs. We like
I like
strategy
to play
games
one
a lot.
RPG. Let's be clear here.
We're all on the same
One
page.
single RPG once a month, over and over and over
And over.
Let's say, Joe. Let's say
and over.
from the shackles of this over and over for
Okay,
the show.
it's
what
not
would
a
you play?
shackle. It's not a shackle. Listen, I'm playing Final Fantasy because I have the podcast Ultimate Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. Honestly,
Spot.
we have now we've gone through games 1 through 14, including 11 and 14, guys, and it's been a great experience. But the idea that we're actually going past the main series. I'm like looking at it and I'm like, oh Jesus, there's so many fucking Final Fantasy games.
It's true. There's a lot.
Like,
you know
if,
what?
If they just stuck to the main series, it'd be like a easy day, a happy day.
You know what I find interesting though?
What?
And I know this is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. With this show, after all the fucking RPGs we've played, the first 2 games we're going to review are fucking RPGs.
Oh, what are those 2 games?
Well, 2 of us are going to be playing Fallout 4. That is going to be Cameron and Kaleb Craig here.
Expect that one next
And
week.
Joe and I both agreed on Diablo 1. And Joe, one of the cool things that we're going to do with this show is we're going to kind of break off in little factions, so to speak. So like Joe and Joe and I both really want to play through the Diablo series. I've always wanted to play through 1 and finish it this time, play more at 2, and then obviously get to 3 because it's supposed to be phenomenal. So whenever Joe and I pair up for a game review, we're going to play Diablo.
I don't know. I might just skip off on you and do Diablo 2 on the next one too. You want to play some Diablo 2, Cameron?
We can all, and that's the thing, is we can all join regardless of what we're supposed to be playing, but we just don't know if that's humanly possible with our schooling and everything else we're doing with our lives.
So we have decided to already take a filled life,
yes,
and just like fill it up some more.
Yeah, it's like the cup. We're now, instead of being even with the top, we're the water that's above it, and you can't really figure out how it's above it.
The water molecules are pulled together.
Yeah, the water molecules.
An extra rim to the cup.
Yeah.
We'll make it fit.
Tell us about your rim job, Cameron.
So what you do is you get some rubber. Wait, what? Not the rim.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Rim. That's not
I
a...
was adding a rim to the cup. That's
Okay.
Okay.
Fucking rubber. I'll bear that stuff.
Yeah. I just go tongue to...
Jeez, dude, I don't know why I brought that up. Let's just get out of there.
Okay, so yeah, anyway, yeah.
Get out of the rim job conversation.
So with the show, one thing we're going to do...
Rim jobs, no.
Yes,
Sorry, go ahead.
that's disgusting. You will get infections. But the thing we want to do with the show is every other week we want to have a review episode of a game.
We'll try. We'll try. It all depends on because sometimes things happen.
Things do happen, but we're gonna. I say we try to stick to it as good as we can, and we're gonna try to we'll tailor the games we play to that for those who won't have enough time. Joe,
we'll have emergency games if we need it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's short games out there that are solid. So that's kind of the premise for it. And then we're going to talk about, big news in the gaming community, stuff like that. We're not going to touch on that for a couple weeks just because of the releases we're thinking about for this show, and the news will be irrelevant by the time we get to that. So it might not be a few
we'll have
episodes.
a few episodes of
Yeah, just general talk and whatnot.
Yeah,
so,
yada, 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 yada.
Yada yada.
A lot of yada yada. So I mean, personally for me, the games that I always really enjoy playing, it's going to be RPGs and then any sort of strategy kind of game. So Civilization, I know we all here have played a lot of Civ, a lot of Age of Empires 2, anything that requires like planning and deception, shit like that. Lots of fun.
Bullshit. We got to have some Kaleb Craig drops.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And I love fucking Kaleb over in those games too, especially Age of Empires. Civ's a little more balanced.
That's all it is.
Can we explain to our audience? I don't know if they figured out. There are 2 Kalebs in this room.
Yeah, I'm Kaleb Schweiss.
And I'm Kaleb Craig.
We should probably refer to me as Schweiss.
Welcome
and him
to
as
Nude
Kaleb.
Clan. I'm Joe.
And this is Joe Wilson.
No. Cameron, please cut. No.
So, yeah. Anyway, Kaleb Schweiss loves to destroy Kaleb Craig at any turn, and Age of Empires 2 is one of my favorite things to do that in. So I don't know. That's kind of those are the 2 things that I could play forever: strategy games and RPGs. What about you, Craig?
I really like RPGs too. I kind of like action games a lot, kind of like God of War and Devil May Cry, stuff like that. Like
God of War and then shittier God of War?
You mean creator of God of War and then shitty DMC?
Oh,
is that what you mean?
No, I just mean it's a lesser. That's all.
No,
I know a lot of it came from it, but it's just inferior as a game.
Copy. No, it's not. Anyways, I enjoy playing pretty much all types of games except for sports games. I feel like if you're gonna fucking play a sports game, you might as well go play the actual.
You know
sports.
what?
I am sided with
sports games in general. I don't really care for football games. But I gotta tell you,
are we gonna have to review those?
I gotta tell you, man,
we might have to.
Those NBA games, they're fucking fun.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't play them on a regular basis, but every once in a blue moon, yeah, hop in NBA 2003.
Yeah,
the PlayStation.
I used to be really into
shove some
games.
people and make
I
some
will say
baskets.
that there is some sporting games that are fun. Like back in the day, Kaleb and I played this one football game, I think it was, where you could play as the mascots, and then he and I would just fight each other while the players would just be playing the game.
It was NCAA football 2003 is what it was.
And that was fantastic, but that's not going to happen all the time.
No.
So.
Interesting thing I've noticed is that people who enjoy playing sports and also enjoy playing video games, enjoy playing sports video games. There's actual things. So people actually who play sports enjoy them.
I used to enjoy them, and I still have a few.
They wouldn't be putting out the sports video games if they didn't sell.
I know, but the guys who put it out is EA, and everyone hates EA, so I don't know how it's still happening.
Sports player lovers of games that are based on sports player
Microtransactions
lovers.
to get the deflated football.
They do not. They do not hate.
Makes
EA.
you win.
Cheat with the Patriots to watch the other
You're
team
talking about
practice.
hating EA. Don't you play games on Origin?
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
use
we
an
do.
evil company.
Are they evil?
Yes,
They are evil.
They're fucked up.
I know
But-
the EA headquarters is in Salt Lake City too.
Good.
Oh my god.
No, there is a regional headquarters.
Oh, that's
Oh,
not
okay.
a headquarters.
So everything for Caleb, everything but sports games. Now I used to play a lot of sports games, but I've
we're
kinda
in
moved away.
Utah, by the way, in case that comment didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
exciting.
did you know there was a headquarters in Salt Lake? For what?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Who gives a single shit?
We don't live there.
Go ahead, Kaleb Craig. You okay?
You good?
What am I saying?
I
Or
think he's
Caleb
done.
Price?
Yeah, I was done.
I'm already done.
Oh, fuck.
It's Cameron.
Oh.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Oh, what are we talking about again?
What kind of
Maybe
games
you
you
should
like
pay
to play?
attention.
What games you would play if you had all the time in the world?
Really? All the time in the world. Or what games I've enjoyed?
Sorry. Go ahead, Cameron.
Making some mouth noises over there, Joe.
I said I wasn't paying attention. I was admitting to it. That's why I was like, go ahead, Caleb. It's like, I'm done. It's like, obviously, I was up in my own ass.
Games that I enjoy the most. I'm gonna have to say RPGs. When I first really was in this is back to video games you're getting into. I
So you
remember
like
spending
guns?
The most time with
RPGs.
the GameCube. That's when I actually got a game that I decided to beat all the way. That was Metroid Prime. I got into that game. I never finished it because of reasons.
No one ever finishes.
Because of reasons.
Maybe another episode where we complain a little bit more. But my favorite game of all time is
Don't
Fallout
tease
3.
them like that.
I put what keeps them coming back. It's a cliffhanger. In the middle of the show, cliffhanger.
It's not really a cliffhanger if they don't hear it until the second one's out, though.
I know.
They're like, well, fuck you. I'm going to go
it's
look it up.
Okay, let's get into it then. So Metroid Prime, I love that game. I was getting into it, but when I could play, it was like, you only can play an hour. And it's like, okay, only an hour a day. You know,
I'm sorry. What being of
He was being his stepdad,
interdimensional?
I imagine.
Because all he said was the words.
it's the monster
Oh, the monster.
closet, which I was named after.
Was he really in the closet?
Hey, did he come out ever of that closet?
all the time.
Oh,
That was the
God.
problem.
All the time?
could only play for.
How many times can you come out of the closet?
Depends on how many times you go in.
It's how many different groups he associates with.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Multiple.
We're all
coming outs.
talking about different things.
I guess we are.
But anyways, if any of you get into an RPG, being restricted to an hour a week makes it really hard to complete any freaking RPG. So I kind of just died. And so
Fuck your
from
stepdad,
there-
Cameron.
From there, I remember playing Call of Duty 2 on the Xbox, and that's when I got into Call of Duty. That was a lot of fun. And then it's pretty much between shooters and RPGs is where I mainly stay. Any good sword game, though, would be a lot of fun, like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. Those are good games.
right.
RPG, but
Can we talk about least favorite genres? I know yours is the sports genre.
Yeah, I don't care for sports.
Do you have a least favorite genre, Twice?
I don't know. I mean, the one I play the least is probably sports, but that's because I used to be really into football and basketball. Never baseball. That's a waste of fucking time. But the All-American sport, it consists of 172 games a year if your team doesn't go to the playoffs. That's fucking bullshit. That is sick. All right? And that's like 3 games a week, 2 hours a game. Who has
How
time
could
for
it
that?
be the American pastime or whatever if they don't hit each other? It's
I
got to
don't
be
know.
football.
I don't know.
no, see, it started out as the All-American pastime, but then slowly over time it shifted.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Those are probably the ones I play the least. Sometimes puzzle games can be annoying, but then I find one like Trine, and it's kind of like a puzzle platformer thing, and it's a lot of fun.
What are you trying to do?
Trine. Fool. I don't know. I don't really have
making a joke,
a least favorite. I know, and I was denouncing it. I don't really have a least favorite genre, but there's just certain games within the genre that I really like and some that I don't. I don't know. What about you, Joe? What's something that you will not
Sorry,
fucking touch?
I It's platformers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe just can't play platformers.
Listen, man, like
He can't coordinate the jumps.
I'm not
to
saying
the
that
platform
sometimes I
to
won't
land on.
put in some Donkey Kong Country and be horrible at it. There's just something like my muscle memory, I think, for games has just never been truly developed. So although I'm kind of okay at shooters, especially if I play like a particular one a lot, like Halo 2, I was pretty decent at, I think.
What, do you think you're decent at 3 or?
I don't think I'm decent at 3. I think I'm decent at 2.
Okay, I can accept that.
So unless I play like a shooter a lot, then I can get pretty okay at it. But I've never been good at platformers, no matter how much I play them.
Okay.
No matter how many times I restart, I've just never been good at them. And Cameron had a restriction of 1 hour a week, you said, for RPGs?
It was whenever my stepdad felt like I could play. And if he felt like, okay, you can play.
He's not your stepdad anymore. No. Let's be clear here.
Yeah,
and it's like
Kramer's a grown man. Also, let's.
You guys, well, you could play.
He's also Mickey Mouse. Yeah. Wait, Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy!
I'm gonna look this up. And I'll let you guys know about that.
Yeah, you find this fucking game of yours.
But anyways, getting back to the point. What was the point?
I was asking you about your restriction.
Yeah,
we were talking about me.
It's still Joe time.
It's still Joe time. It's always Joe time. Yeah.
They know.
Now, you had the restriction of 1 hour a week for your video games. Now, I could play video games at other people's houses, and my parents did not care.
They just didn't want to consume your time at home.
Over there, no.
The whole thing was that they didn't want me to be Kaleb Craig. They didn't want me at home all the time playing video games, never going outside, never hanging out with other people.
I always went outside.
So,
yeah, he played with swords.
During my childhood, after the NES, and I was kind of an outdoors kid, actually, for a while. Except for that, I would watch like movies all day long sometimes. That's not an outdoorsy thing. But I would play outside and I'd ride my bike and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I was really outdoorsy too.
So I didn't actually play the NES very much when we finally moved to Utah. Anyway, after that NES era, I wasn't allowed to have a video game console. And that only changed when I was like 15, and I begged my mom if I could get a Game Boy Advance, and I mowed lawns for a summer in order to save up for the Game Boy Advance.
What did you get on that Game Boy Advance?
Oh, a bunch of non-games.
Okay.
The problem with me getting that Game Boy Advance and not having a video game background is that I didn't know what games were the games to get.
Oh.
And so I got games like the Samurai Jack game.
Nice.
And other media-related games to shows or movies that I had watched. So
they were all horrible.
it was like the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets Game Boy Advance game and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. I did play some computer games though. For some odd reason, here's how I won the argument with my mother, is that it was like, you know that there's no difference between a computer game and a video game, right? Except that one plugs into your television.
So you were able to play PC games?
I was.
What the fuck?
That makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Exactly.
Joe's mom. What the fuck?
And like, this was the argument for years. And sometimes I'll just bring it up to make my mom feel bad. Sometimes I'm just like, hey,
great son here.
Hey, you know that didn't make any sense, right? She's like, it just felt right at the time. I was like, okay.
Can't argue with that.
Wild parent card.
Now, I never did become a Kaleb Craig, and here's the thing. I bet if I did have video games at home, I probably would have become like a super couch potato with the video games.
Yeah?
Yeah, I probably would have. But as it is now,
super couch potato with movies.
Instead, I am a super couch potato with movies. That's the one thing. The second thing is I can't really play video games for very long without getting like... I've been at this thing for way too long. Like, I feel my life slipping away when I've played a video game for more than 2 hours at a time. Yeah. Which is a problem considering now I have 2 video game podcasts. But some days I don't feel that way, but most of the time, yeah, I'm like, what the fuck?
There's only a few times that I ever feel that way, and it's when the only thing I did all day was a game. That's when I'm like, geez, I could have done anything.
We'll definitely talk about this for Fallout 4. 4, I think, actually.
Well, here's a game. Beat it within a week. Go. Yeah, I still have to go to work and school.
Hey, now, it's been 3 weeks.
You have PTO.
You had 2 weeks to beat it.
Why don't you use any PTO?
Well, the next week is the second week.
No, next week is the 3rd week. You had a week before, you just didn't get a hold of the game.
Oh, true.
Yeah, way to
Well,
slack.
that's kind of important.
Well, okay, no. See, the reason why I have to rush this game is because
Don't
someone
rush
we
it.
won't speak of decided to stop. Decided not to be a part of the podcast.
Right, and he was going to do the
gonna
episode
do it.
with Caleb,
Right.
who has also beaten Fallout
And then
4
since
recently.
I love the Fallout series and really wanted to play a Fallout 4, I borrowed it from Caleb, and now I'm trying to beat it while still getting appreciation of every aspect of the game.
Right. No, that's fair enough. So just dedicate a lot of time to it. Just don't sleep.
Just don't sleep.
That's what I have to do
So
now.
it was our Vegas trip. I was going to grab it
Always.
for Caleb, but I had to grab it the day after we came home from the Vegas trip. How long ago was the Vegas trip?
Last weekend.
Well, there you go. It's only been a week. I've only
Since you
had the
got
game
it.
for a week. And I was playing it for a few hours every night until...
Few hours?
I
was only playing it for a few hours.
until I took a day off from work.
Cameron is
So
Irish.
Yeah,
I think
fair enough.
Irish a little bit. That was bad. But anyways, that...
Yeah, can I talk about the games I like to play?
No.
No?
Yes. Okay, you can.
Yeah, Caleb, what games does Joe
Okay.
like to play?
Games?
All right.
I think he likes Halo.
So after 15 years old, I got the Game Boy Advance. Eventually, I had a kind of horrible brother-in-law.
Frogman?
Not Frog. Frogman's actually a pretty decent brother-in-law. I had a horrible brother-in-law who would
Okay, look, we don't need to
would
go
steal things
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
Pock of Joe.
and would sell them to get money.
for
And
drugs.
one day my Game Boy Advance went missing.
Ooh.
No idea where it was. And then these rumors started coming in about this. His name is Spencer Hicken, by the way. He lives in Utah. If you know him, do not trust him. He will steal your shit. Not kidding. He stole a lot of our shit and sold it. And we dealt with it because he was part of the family, though, right?
Yeah.
Which is so fucking stupid. This guy is a sleazeball in every way. So go, like, if you know him or if he works for you or some bullshit,
Break his legs.
fucking he's a piece of shit and do what you will. Now, he stole my Game Boy Advance. My sister made him apologize to me after I'd found out from my parents that he had stole my shit and sold it. My sister made him apologize to me, and he gave me his Xbox is like a retribution. I don't know.
That's how you got the Xbox.
So that's how I got an Xbox. Now, I'm not talking Xbox 360. I'm talking the Xbox. Now, I was very familiar with the Xbox because I played a lot of Halo 1 at my friend's house. And that was a lot of fun. So after I got the Xbox, I was like set. I was like, fuck it. I don't want the Game Boy Advance anyway. Now when I got this.
I feel you.
And so since then, I've been really into shooters. At one point, I bought a PlayStation 1, and because I couldn't afford PlayStation 2. I'm always about one generation behind on everything.
Unless you're forced.
Unless I'm forced to buy a PS4. And
But see, back then, though, without the advent of internet gaming and being online with friends, it was like easy to be a console behind because you weren't playing online with friends. You didn't have to be up to date.
That's true. It didn't
yeah, I
mean quite as
guess
much.
I always wanted to play Halo 2 and stuff
I was a
like that.
console
Or Halo
player
3
for a
at the
long time.
time. That's right. But yeah, I eventually got a PlayStation. I borrowed Final Fantasy from He Who Shall Not Be Named, and and I was hooked on Final Fantasy ever since then. So I've been really into the Final Fantasy games, and I say RPG games, but my RPG experience, even with Fable and Diablo, has never been as big as my Final Fantasy experience.
Yeah. Well, there's not nearly as many Fables or Diablos combined.
I will say that, but because of all those computer stuff like that, I was also really into like Roller Coaster Tycoon and stuff like that.
So like a strategy sort
Strategy.
of
So I'm with you, Schweiss. It's strategy and RPGs.
Roller Coaster Tycoon's awesome.
Wait, was this supposed to be about games you didn't like?
It
I
was
said
initially.
games you didn't like. I don't like platformers.
Okay.
What do you not like?
Well, this is gonna hurt some Final Fantasy people, but I really hate turn-based. I can't handle it.
Turn-based isn't a genre.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's not a genre, but I hate the gameplay of turn-based games. I'll give every game a try.
Not all of them are turn-based.
Turn-based games? I know not all of them are, but I just kind of disdained my knowledge of Final Fantasy because the one I tried that was turn-based. And it was, okay, I hit you. No, I wait. You hit me. Good. Now I hit you.
There's a strategy to it.
Yeah,
I know
it's
that's
strategy,
the point of the
man.
game. I know it's all about the strategy and what you bring to it, and just thinking about how you're going to tackle enemies. But I just can't handle taking turns. That's not how battles go.
All right.
How do you know?
So you're saying that all games must be logical, period.
No, because that cuts out
Okay.
a ton of games.
You just wanted to be a more
right.
realistic and fluid battle
I just don't
system.
like waiting my turn.
So did you have trouble early on in school? Kindergarten?
Well, now you brought this up. It's my turn to.
Let's talk
spill
about
my
all of
story.
Cameron's.
After Joe, it's my turn.
I was
for my
touched.
Story.
Yeah.
By an angel.
By an angel. Oh, God.
And then he went to jail.
The angel spent a long time in jail.
The angel's still in jail.
He went to heaven for a lot of years.
He came back, guys.
Oh, God.
My angel's back.
20 years later.
Ah, Jesus.
Oh, this is going down a dark, dark path.
Anyways. Turns.
You hate turn-based.
How about, Cameron, I think one of the games that you should give a try is definitely a Final Fantasy game. I think you should
All
give,
right.
Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy VII another try.
Perhaps you could play one of those with Caleb because
Final Fantasy X is a quick game, so it's not like you're waiting.
Wait, what's the one that everyone frowns upon? Is it 10?
8
Oh.
Or 13.
or 13.
It depends on who you are.
Don't play either of those. They're okay in their own way, but
And the
not.
look of shell-shocked in Caleb's eyes is just amazing. Don't go there.
We want a
Well, it
positive
depends on who you are, because I like
place.
me. Obviously, you can listen to Ultimate Final Fantasy and figure out what me and Caleb like in the series.
Is I might have maybe listened to a half an episode of Ultima.
What?
I've maybe listened to half of an episode.
You listen to all of them, don't you?
No, I don't. No,
You're a huge fan of our works.
I download the podcast every time it comes out, but I don't listen to them.
Why?
I don't know. Just don't.
Man, you're just getting their hopes up with that download.
Fuck.
It's good
Listen
stuff.
to it. Tell your friends.
Keep meaning to listen to it. I just don't. It's just I'm not interested in Final Fantasy.
Are you going to listen to this podcast?
Probably not.
Don't worry, neither am I.
Fuck yourselves. Actually, that's not true. I probably wouldn't listen to my own podcast.
It's weird.
But you guys keep listening.
Yes.
Seriously. You can go to nudeclan.net
Oh, a dog.
and sign in, join the
.net
forums,
3.
talk about any games you want. I want to know.
Where's the?
I want to know what got you guys started in video games at home. By the way,
Yeah, let us know. It's a big thing for us.
it is a big thing for us. Is there a special console in your guys' eyes with all video games?
Ooh, the best?
Yeah. Caleb Schweiss, what's your favorite console?
PS2. It's amazing.
I'm gonna back
okay,
that up.
let's talk favorite and then what you think is the greatest console of all time.
PS2, PS2.
Oh, okay. Explain yourself.
Although PS3 might be catching up to it just because of the remasters of PS2 games.
Explain thyself.
All right, so here's what happens. PS2 is the best-selling console ever. And for a reason. It's amazing. It's got a lot of really good titles. It's got good games. Yeah, the graphics were...
It could play DVDs.
That's true. There were games coming out years into the PS3's lifespan. Years. Mercenaries 2 was on the PS2. That was balls deep into PS3 times. And they're like, fuck it. We're putting it on the system that sells PS2. And admittedly, PS2 to me, this is going to be weird. There's a lot of we live in Utah, and there's a lot of...
Before the iPod, wasn't the PS2 like the biggest like single electronic item ever sold?
I think
I
so.
think it might have been, yeah.
It's huge. Anyway, all of my Hispanic friends, especially, always had PS2s, and I think it's because of the Gran Turismo.
Senor.
Don't you remember that? There's a lot of them. They all my buddies, and because we have a lot of
I don't
Mexican
remember
people.
that. I didn't hang out with you that day.
profiling because I
not-
like those games too.
No.
See?
I've noticed that though. It seems like the people I knew that had PlayStations, in addition to me, were always the Hispanic guys. It was weird to me. Like I had a bunch of buddies that were all like, "Oh yeah, we love it for Gran Turismo," which is fun. but yeah, it's got bad AI.
You know what? Okay, on the race thing, we're going to bring up race. We're talking about race, guys. We're going to get honest about race.
Oh, no.
Okay. I had a African-American friend growing up. I was like 5 years old. He was my best friend. We used to play every day. He moved away. One summer he came back and I was early teenager. And he was like, what do you like to do now? I'm like, I like to ride my bike. And I asked him what he liked to do. Guess what system?
PS2?
He's like, I like to play on the PS2.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what about the Xbox? He's like, PS2. It's like, but I was like, Xbox. And he was like, PS2. And so
that's how he would
I
crush
see the
you.
racial line. I see the racial line drawn on that PS2.
Oh, come on.
Just
No,
on
I don't
the
know if
PS2.
it's- I don't know if it's that.
I'm not
It's-
sure if it went past that.
I think it's more the wide variety of games.
my very limited experience. You know how many black people there are in Utah? Not many. And I knew one of
There's
them.
probably like 100.
No, there's got to be more than that. But, no, but I agree though, and it's I think it's
2% of the population.
I think it's the versatility of
Yeah.
the system. There's a lot of different games. There's a lot of different genres. A lot of platformers from back in the day. You've got the Crash games that made their way. The Jack games that are essentially
Jack
Crash.
off the Crash games.
You do. You can jack off the Crash games.
Uh-huh.
A lot of racing games that are really solid.
A lot of racist games, yep.
It just had a lot of good stuff. Grand Theft Auto was a huge fucking thing. And, I mean,
For the
Xbox
racist
had
games.
it too, but PS2 was the ultimate system.
There is
There is
no racial divide among the systems.
I don't think there is either. I'm just saying I know a lot of my Mexican friends when I was in high school had a fucking PS2.
Where you
And all the white kids
My
had
one
an
black
Xbox.
friend had a PS2.
you were probably living in an area where there was a higher concentration of them.
See, I
That's
think
associated.
He did live next to betas.
Well, there you go. Come on, that's racial
See?
profiling too, guys. Come on.
We're not being racist. I'm just saying. I feel like it has
That's
a
where they lived in town.
across the board thing.
True.
There were no Hispanic people around me because I was up in the rich part of
Oh, come
Springville.
on. More racial profiling.
No, dude, he really was.
I really
actually-
was,
No.
and there was not a single Hispanic family.
Yeah, dude, it was blinding up there.
Well,
I'm
you
not
guys
kidding.
took it to a whole
And all
new
you
level.
guys live down near the center of town, and of course that's...
I was talking about when I lived in Provo, you dumbass.
Oh, okay.
Okay. He didn't live next to betas.
Sorry, I was... He said Beto's, and I went off.
No, and I
Well,
think
it's just true. It's not that it's just how it is.
well, and it's because it's the best-selling console ever. That
It is. It
a lot of
really is
people played
one
it.
of the best. So everyone had it.
There
No,
were
I
also
know.
there were also no children in my neighborhood. There was one other kid my age, and his name was Timo. He was
not actually his name.
What about Colonel Sanders?
He came in later.
But yeah, no, I think it's that way. It's the number one system for a reason. It's because it has a lot of good games that appeal to a lot of people, and that's why I have very few games that I don't like, very few genres that I will just stay away from. Is because the PS2 had a lot of great games on genres that I didn't like before I had the PS2.
Okay, do any of you guys agree that the PS2 was the greatest system ever?
Yeah, I probably agree with that.
I've
Cameron?
never owned one, but based off the statistics alone,
Okay.
Now, okay, out of the ones you have owned,
ones I've
or
owned,
ones you suspect,
my favorite versus what I think is the best out of what I have owned.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, hold on. I want to rebuttal the PlayStation 2.
You can't rebuttal. It's just a fact.
Let me say that if it weren't for the games that sold,
If it weren't for the games that sold, there wouldn't be a console.
now here's no.
If
There are two things that you're looking at for these games. It's first of all, or for these consoles. One is its effect on the populace and gaming as a whole versus the system itself in regards to the other systems that came out at the time. The reality is that the PlayStation 2 was the worst by itself as a system, the worst system within that generation.
No, graphically, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the worst.
Graphically, it was the worst. And memory-wise, it was with the GameCube where you had to buy a separate memory stick, which I always thought was a ripoff. Because my first big system, and the system I was familiar with because of my friend, was the original Xbox. The original Xbox had internal storage and was the second best graphically. It also had a lot of the same games that the PS2 had, and it had Halo. which revolutionized online gaming for consoles. And I know that there was online gaming for some consoles, like one of the Sega things that failed.
Dreamcast.
Yeah. But I think that the Xbox, that I loved its controller a lot more than anything else. I think that the Xbox in that generation might have been the best system, despite it not necessarily having the plethora of games that the PS2 had. And the GameCube just fucking...
I think the biggest problem with the Xbox is that
as good as the process, as good as the machine of the GameCube was.
Nintendo underutilized it.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I still disagree, and I like memory cards, and here's why.
I do too.
When I want to go play a Star Wars game with Caleb, I don't have to bring my fucking Xbox. I can just pull that tiny little stick out and bring that shit, plug it into his, and then he's got all my data, and I'm good to go. Now, admittedly, they do have memory cards for Xbox, which is a good rebuttal to that.
They do.
But no one ever.
They also have internal storage.
True, and I liked having
You could
music.
put your music on there. It could also play DVDs like the PS2 could.
But at that rate, I might as well just have a PC and play Halo on that instead. Because there's
that's
online
what the Xbox was. It was a
there's
computer that you
online
hook up to your TV.
for Halo 1 on PC.
Yeah,
That's
that was
why I
later.
preferred it.
That was later.
But I'm gonna have to say with Joe.
I think for that generation,
Xbox was my favorite.
I think
And
Xbox
that time, I
was the
never
best system.
owned a PS2. I love playing it when I did get the chance to play a PS2. But I loved the Xbox. I loved Halo. I loved that storyline, and I fell in love with the Xbox. Not for
What
those
storyline?
Specific.
fuck you.
I read a book, okay?
Oh, fan fiction.
Oh.
Speaking of,
No, please God.
No content. Yeah, I have to side with Joe because I love. It's what we grew up with. It's what we had. Our circles of influence played Xbox.
I
you
think
guys had shitty friends.
I think the greatest console of all time is the Super NES.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was the best system at the time, and it had the best games.
Best system.
That's a good argument. I do like the Super NES a lot, but I still think PS2
I do too.
is a little
Most
better.
of my awesome memories comes from the Sega Genesis.
Really?
Yeah, Sega Genesis. I love that. I love that game. I love playing Mortal Kombat and spamming the freaking fireball move. Just good memories hanging out with the Sega Genesis is what I have.
All
I
right.
don't know. I think a console is kind of defined by the games that are on it. So,
It should be.
Played like 3 games.
I think
That's
it's-
probably-
No, if your arguments...
I think that's part of it. I think that is part of it. And I'm saying that the Xbox, although it didn't have Final Fantasy or God of War, I think that the Xbox, I think it held its own pretty darn well, considering it was a brand new system.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the internal memory thing that's revolutionary for the Xbox
remember
and the online.
going and hanging out EA at the same mall that we've been going to.
And you
Going
didn't have to buy special things for
Going
it. It was
to the
itself.
GameStop in our mall and then going to the demo Xbox and I'm playing this game like, hey, this is pretty fun. I'm driving this little Jeep across the beach, has a machine gun on the back. I wonder what game this is. And I had no idea. I was playing Halo 1 on a demo. I remember playing it. And then later I come to just love that game.
Yeah.
It's like, think about most of the releases on the PS2 were also released on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the good ones. God of War never came to Xbox. A lot of the shitty games, the ones that were made for
I'm
movies.
just saying the games that were for every system basically. They also went on the Xbox.
True, but if you're
And Doom 3.
if you're reasoning, it's true. Doom 3 was on there. That's a really good game, and the PS2 couldn't handle it. Mm-hmm. But
His little self-satisfied.
but I mean, from your standpoint, if
I'm
it's
saying
not,
I don't think the PS2 was the best of that generation, and so I could never say that the PS2 is the best of all generations.
I think it trashed the other two.
I think
But
it
you
is the
did.
best
I still
because it was the
have to agree
oldest
with
one,
PS2.
and it was still outlasted both of them.
Yeah,
so
just
I would
based
still
on-
That's just
say
because it was the biggest one, but biggest doesn't necessarily mean best.
I don't know. Like the Nintendo systems always sell pretty well, and they're always pretty big, especially with
Except the GameCube.
Yeah,
I guess
they-
except for the
enjoyed my
GameCube, but the
GameCube.
GameCube I think had the worst launch of all time.
yeah, it wasn't that great.
It was worse than the PS3 launch.
I think it was, yeah.
The PS3 ended up catching up to Xbox.
Well, I know, only after they did price cuts for a year.
Well,
and a half.
that and after the
the PS3 was super expensive.
after the
Yeah,
super
Xboxes
expensive.
actually started working longer than 2 months, so they couldn't
Didn't
quadruple their
burst into
sales.
flames.
I wonder how much of that data is from people rebuying new Xbox 360s because their old ones stopped functioning.
If you bought it legitimately, they'll repair it for you for free.
Yeah.
I still wonder about that.
They repaired it for free.
They did if it burst into flames and there was nothing to fix.
No, plus the PS2 had... You could still play your PS1 games, which I mean is not the biggest thing.
Backwards compatibility.
I think I played back in the day. I played my PS1 memory card was always like my prized possession.
Yeah,
I had my Final Fantasy 7 and 8 file on there.
But would you say the PS1 is a better system than the N64? It might be your favorite, but in general,
I actually don't know.
I prefer it, but the N64 is really good.
I think that PlayStation's controller is far better.
Well,
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I like that it's been the same since like the beginning of the PlayStation.
The greatest console of all time, the PC.
Well, definitely.
No.
PC is the ultimate. You can't deny it. You guys.
The master race.
Does anyone here deny that?
PC master race, people. I hate those people.
I think we can. I think we could generally say that the PC is the best system of all time.
I think so. You can play anything on it, and I mean,
well, with emulators, yeah, because there's still
it'd be a combination of influence
games.
Because you can
sales,
make a supercomputer based
the games on it, and the technology.
Beautifully play this game, beautiful game, but the cost, how much you're investing in it, and how often you have to keep updating your.
Not that often. Mm-hmm. I've had my computer for over 3 years,
but you
and
dump $2,000 into it.
Yeah, but there's nothing that can touch it.
Yeah, you dump $2,000 in it, and you admit it's worked beautifully for 2 years, but someone buys a console for not even.
Well, have you really tested that thing? Have you played like Crysis on that thing or anything like that? The games that are supposed to really be rough on PCs.
Crysis isn't that intense.
Well, it was a few years ago.
The one that might be.
One time, yeah.
Have you tried Doom 3 on it?
Doom 3 works on it. Yes.
How about Diablo?
Diablo works great.
Diablo's not been a hard game.
On Max, and that was pretty intense. The Witcher 3, I think, is the one that's out now. I haven't bought it. Someone told me I'd have troubles with it, but I looked at the specs needed for it, and I still think I could run it on Ultima, or the Ultimate Edition.
Ultima Final Fantasy.
The ultimate graphical quality PC.
Test would be trying to play my modded version of Skyrim with all those
all the like beautification mods. Oh man,
it made my computer slow.
It's getting close though.
Back to right one.
It's getting close to it, but you think about it, the only thing I need to upgrade at this point would be
video card.
My video card. That's it.
But how much would you dump on a better video card?
Probably like $400.
So 2 years into a $2,000
I remember
PC, another $400.
Man, I would just get like a tight.
But it's going to look better. It looks better than my PS4 does already.
I know it does, but the amount of money you invested into it compared to how much someone's going to pay on a console and how long that console is going to be good for.
I remember back in the day, like high school here, or early high school, or late junior high, I don't know. I was thinking seriously about like buying a part at a time and building my own computer. The high-end graphics cards, those were the Radeon 9000 series. So those would have, at the time, I think Doom 3 was the hardest game on anything.
Yeah.
Like in order to play Doom 3, you had to have one of those Alienware like towers, basically. Video cards back then, tops $200 for like the greatest thing.
True, I think I paid
that's
like
nuts.
$600 for
so
mine.
Overall, computers prices have gone way down. They used to be like $1,000 in general. You can buy a decent PC, not a gaming PC,
for $400.
For $300 or $400.
Yours was only like 400 something, wasn't it?
Mine was about 500.
And you can play most things.
I can play things with the graphics down.
Yeah, so you can play the games, but
like even my Surface Pro 3 with an i3 struggles to play some games, but I can still play a decent amount of games.
This is nuts.
Plus,
it's crazy.
One of the things I do with Steam...
You spent way too much on that tablet, by the way, Cameron.
I did not buy it. FYI, it was a gift.
Why did you lying motherfucker? You told me you sold your PC for school and then bought it with that. Bought that with the money.
I sold my PC. I have to hold everyone this. I sold my PC to pay a bill, and I wasn't playing very much anymore. But that tablet was a gift.
You were playing all the time. You made that. Anyway, the one thing I love about PC especially is the same thing I loved about PS2 is I go on Steam. I can buy all these old games and replay them.
Man, you just love
And
the
it looks
cards
good.
on Steam.
I do love the cards. I just got the holiday one for the Christmas sale. I got the badge. I'm all done there.
Congratulations.
It's all about the status, the hog status. So are we going to introduce the hog status to this channel?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, we are. And we do have to have an argument upon what should be counted on the hog
Movies
status.
don't count.
This is a game.
I understand.
All media doesn't count. That's really, we're just
All media
praising
doesn't count.
praising us vegging for thousands of hours.
Status predates certain members of
It
this
does, and so maybe I should respect that. But
Well, we can see. We'll
I
let you
kind
put
of
your
don't
points up.
want to respect it. I do have
A proposition.
a proposition. Okay, so just someone explain the hog status, please.
Caleb, you might as well.
All right, so for me, I'm like really into lists and any sort of like, this is what I've done. These are my accomplishments.
So into lists that when he first started his job, he kept a box of every check stub.
I just threw those away yesterday.
He threw the checks. Oh.
Dude, it was huge. I'm talking like 5 pounds of check stubs from Hostess Brands. I was like, I can't throw this away.
This is him keeping his list. Every single, just a box. I can't believe you threw that away.
All that information is on like your tax statement.
I know it is. That's why. That's the reasoning. I'm like,
No
it's all
reason to
here
have it
in case they fuck up. I love the status. I'm like, I want to get a second. I used to joke about wanting to get a second job just to have another little stub with numbers on it saying, "Look at this. Look what you have."
Into lists that he would keep everything.
I have this little pocketbook, this little, those little mini composition notebooks.
Yeah.
I have it, and I like have the books I read throughout a year, which I didn't read at all last year because all this fucking Final Fantasy.
Read a single book.
I know. I'm
I
so ashamed.
digitized all my lists. I'm on Rotten Tomatoes and on Goodreads.
I am as well. Then I love it. I want to beat off to it every time I log on. But I used to have a little thing where I would like be book, author, blah, 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 page count even. I was like, oh yeah, I'm reading so many pages this year. I'm really into lists, and I even got the, 1001 movies to watch before you die, but I found one that's with all the previous editions because every year more movies come out that top other movies on the list, so they remove some. I've got the list with fucking all of them, including the removed ones. I want to do all of it. So I'm like obsessive compulsive when it comes to lists.
Listchallenges.com is a new
thing that we found, and it's amazing.
There is an actual list website.
Yes, other people, and you can put up your own list like by hand
Your list up where?
on listchallenges.com.
Oh, wow.
Or you can
Spot
find a
free,
list,
free.
including the list of 1001 movies with all the editions.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. I have it on my
God,
account.
dude.
I'm gonna have to
It's pretty
go
good.
to that
It
place
didn't
then.
have the most recent book, but you can always look that up. It's just going to be newer movies.
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm super obsessed
I got
with
like
it.
300 something. It's
And,
kind of sad.
And the other day, I mean like 6 months ago, I was talking to Caleb, and
The other day, to a god.
yeah, to a god such as myself, I was talking to him, and I was like, what we should do some kind of challenge. Let's like write down the games we beat in a year. So we had this little list, and we would write down, oh yeah, I beat this on this day. I went through Dishonored. I went through this, well, yada yada. And then I came up with an idea, and it's kind of all for hog status, which is this like, I don't know, this idea that you're above others for things you've done. And that's kind of what the list is about, It's about like bragging rights or hog
Every
status.
single list ever made is about that.
It's all for the hog. And
1001 places to see before you die? What motherfucker did that?
I don't know, some rich bastard who got a small
Fuck that guy.
$1 million loan from his parents to
One of them is
his
his
empire.
private
Fly
island.
here, then I shall fly here, then I shall fly here.
yeah, shit like that. So now the idea came into my head that, it's a hog status competition, so let's get like a golden hog.
No. So I went in depth on the trophy. I wanted it. I had such
Because he was talking to Crinitol over the
I
thing.
was talking to Crinitol, and then I want this thing to be made out of obsidian. Just this wonderfully
Jesus
carved
Christ.
hog out of obsidian with big old dangling.
Yeah, big nut sack, like
I'm
these
pretty
huge.
sure I talked about this
And then I
before.
wanted ivory tusks coming out of it with ruby eyes.
I just wanted to.
The hog is like up on a rock with its snout raised in the air.
Yeah, it's like
Flaring its trunk.
it's Pride Rock is what it is.
The point of this statue
Pride
is
hog.
the statue itself is hog status.
Yeah.
It's got to be over the top hog status. That's why you have to have it.
And so the idea was to create this trophy, and then throughout the year, whoever beat the most video games would get the hog status trophy.
Well, you guys have never had the trophy. You've only had the list.
Yeah, only the list, never the reward.
We never put in for the awesome trophy.
Wonderful centerpiece you'd keep in your home.
Yeah, this friggin' huge sack. But yeah, so we haven't done that yet, and I mean, I'm pretty tempted to do it. Obviously, we can't do it.
I've priced it.
How much was it?
You've priced
The
it.
rubies alone, man. We have to go another route.
How did you price it? Did you like ask for a specific sculpture?
No. So I did it by parts. So how much does a block of obsidian cost? And depending on where you go, it's actually quite decent. Ivory, on the other hand, you have to go through reputable sources to obtain ivory. And then the rubies, just like, yeah, we're not getting
What? Rubies are expensive?
No way.
I
thought they were common. That's why we don't care about rubies at
gold-plated
all.
hooves on this hog.
Jesus.
I wanted the thing to be 24 karat gold all the way around.
But I wanted to be black. Black is just deep as black.
Yeah, you're really into the deep black. Those big black balls hanging off the bottom.
It's just something about it being black, red ruby eyes just glowing out of it.
Okay.
That would be intense.
I just really wanted it to be like a really
just be like a
shitty
little-
trophy with a hog on it with big balls. That's like
no.
really all I wanted.
That's all I needed too, but Cameron has to
Hog
go.
status has to be hog
Well,
status.
if it's never made, it's never made. And I have a feeling that it's never going. Unless we...
The idea of it
Okay,
is what keeps it
I
so
think
amazing.
there are probably some sculpture guys at BYU.
I think there's a trophy shop that'll actually just make it.
yeah,
We could probably
It
talk
costs
to him.
like extra to have like a specific one, but I think that you
You know
just
what?
go
My
there.
grandfather... Oh,
it'll be
shit.
the standard.
My
hog
grandfather
status
used to
trophy.
do he did wildlife art. He's really into that. He's actually really good.
Can you put a sack on it? Will he do it?
I'm just saying, I could ask him to do a big pig with tusks and a giant
No,
ball
not a
sack.
pig, not a pig.
It's a hog. Jesus Christ. Do we have to do the pig
It's not
hog
pig
conversation?
status, Joe.
Like the wolf dog conversation. Anyway, fucking Jesus, guys. It's not an opinion. Canis means dog in Latin.
Okay, stop bringing
Thus,
it up.
a wolf is a dog. Okay.
No, we get the viewer's opinion.
It's clear. No. Canis means dog.
There's no discussion about this. If you talk about this, I will come to your house and I will kill you.
All right, anyway.
No, I'm not arguing the pig hog statement. I don't know. That I honestly don't know. I do know about the wolf and the dog thing. Now, I could probably get my grandfather to do something. Maybe. I don't know. I feel kind of weird asking him to make an animal with big balls on it.
Well, we can make the big balls. He just needs to make the
We
animal.
can alter it.
Just get like the same kind of hair material.
No,
just ask him for a little bit more
do it
material.
in clay and then he'll cast it in bronze.
Oh, okay.
Guys, what if we got like a stuffed boar?
Oh,
Like a real one?
Yeah, like a real stuffed boar. And just made that the fucking trophy.
And mounted on our wall with the tusks and everything.
And the balls.
There is nothing.
Just get 2 baseballs and a brown sack.
Oh, man.
No cock, just balls.
There's nothing I hate more than animal. Animal decoration is just a.
Yeah, taxidermy.
You know when you go into like some old man's house and it's just like the deer head on the wall, the bison head on the wall, the cat,
The cat.
no, like a bobcat or some bullshit. It's like, did you kill all these?
No, this will just be presented though. This will be like the centerpiece.
This is
Oh,
the
put it-
centerpiece of your home.
It'll be like the
Put it
penis
right in
candle.
As people open the door, they'll see it right there greeting them.
This will be like the trophy to build your house around.
I have a feeling this might be more expensive than the obsidian.
It might be.
Man.
Suddenly, Cameron's idea doesn't seem too bad. No, we just need to go hunt the thing ourselves.
How about we go?
Hog status right
With
there.
spears.
Spear hunting.
We leave the spear in it too.
All right. Where's the nearest place with wild hogs?
I have no idea.
Not Utah. There's no wild Utah hogs. Maybe like Louisiana. Well, jeez. Well, Cameron's Googling that. How about we get some like clay, like clay that you can bake, and like we all make the hog.
Oh, we could do that.
Let's just make a nice little art project, and we can put some glitter on it, and it'll be fun.
I just want to make sure everyone knows this is Joe's idea.
Okay, all right. So with the hog status thing, here was my whole thing, and then we're going to get into New Year's resolutions here pretty soon. Some of us have goals of watching movies because some of us just like movies, other people like lists, and then other people are studying movies and just want to just watch more movies. I wouldn't mind adding movies as either a separate hog status list or as part of the hog status list. And there's also, last year, Kaleb read no books. I read a handful of books.
Wait a minute. Sorry.
Oh.
And so
Hogs.
I'm thinking that maybe just a hog status that would be just basically a mark of our consumption of media. And so we would take... The average person reads 300 words per minute.
So basically a way to get Joe on the list.
Okay. What are you fucking talking about? I beat more
That's what I
games than
said
you did
too.
last year. Okay. So it would be like a certain number of pages per movie or per book, a certain number of minutes in a movie, and a certain number of minutes in a game would all equal a point, basically. And it would be a point system. So I read this book, so it's this many points. This game is this many points based on howlongtobeat.com's average gameplay time. So that was my idea, is that making it a point system instead of like just a games beaten system. Because if you go online and you decide to play every single 1 hour indie game that there ever was on Xbox Live,
Limit to that. But
but if
There
there is a
isn't.
limit to that,
there isn't. Then we all
The only limit is that it has to have like some sort of campaign.
Yeah, it has to have some sort of campaign. Then we all can play it. But see, what you're talking about, Joe, we can have more than one list and more than one list trophy.
We could, yeah.
But anyways, interjecting with hogs, this is on KSL, KSL.com, which is a local Utah newspaper or website.
Are you telling me you already found a stuffed hog?
No, I found live hogs.
Oh.
Wild pigs.
Oh, we'd have to
keep
get
on
it-
remote
we'd have to
island
pay to
causing
get it
concerns
stuffed.
among Wildlife officials.
Ooh, so they want people to kill him.
Yeah, it's causing concern. So it's our
Oh,
civic
shit.
duty to go spear a wild hog.
Is there any rule against spears?
guys, we have to do it naked.
Or at least in the loincloth.
It has to be a spear or a bow and arrow. I think bow and arrow is okay.
I would probably use a bow.
Yeah. So
That's a scary
What
thought.
it is you get one person
Bow with
to
a backup spear.
stand in the clearing with a freaking large spear, and then one person flushes him out towards the guy standing there with the spear, and he sets himself and skewers down the goal. And we could do that here in Utah.
Oh, man.
And then you were just holding it up on the spear, it's shaking, and you just hold it up to the sky.
I wonder if it's like near Antelope Island. 'Cause where is there islands here in Utah besides Antelope Island?
no, there's a few in Salt Lake.
Yeah, there's a couple, but
Yeah, so
It's all around there.
along in the bison herds, we got some wild boar.
maybe we
How
should
about
do.
we just do a bison? Let's
Let's do a bison.
It's not a bison status. It's not almost extinct
That's
status.
'cause our-
let's do
hog
both.
status.
Let's kill the hog and then we'll put it inside of the bison's stomach.
Why?
It's like a turducken, only it's like
We're
a
not eating the hog. We're
the hog.
The hog status
Hogson.
was consumed by the bison status. We thought we were going full hog when really the hog was.
We were going full bison.
Yeah, we were going full bison the whole time.
Okay. All right. Is everybody against my other hog status?
You mean with the point system?
With the point system.
I think it's fine.
I think it's
sort
cool.
of close to the system that I had before.
If we do come up with an actual trophy for it, though, I think it should be games, but I think it should be games limited to the games that we're all playing for the reviews.
No, I don't think that works, because then we should have about the same amount at the end.
No, but that's the thing, is if I play an extra game with them, I get it.
I don't know.
How much more time can you waste?
That's essentially what this whole thing is.
They're already going to be
though.
playing Final Fantasy, so you already got like at least 2
that's
games
true.
going per like week anyway.
Yeah, but those take forever. Diablo will not. Oh, speaking
Yeah,
of...
but like Final Fantasy 4 Interlude and then After Years.
I'm going to go get some compressed air after this
compressed air.
and clean out my computer. Is that what you were going to talk about?
I was so
computer keeps
confused.
overheating.
I was like, compressed air. I was like, for some reason I was brought back to the lack of carbonation in my soda earlier at the Tommy Burger, and I'm like, is that what he's talking about?
You guys had Tommy Burger?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did.
We were, like,
that's what
super
happens
late.
when you take forever.
Yeah. That's exactly what.
So anyway, as you guys, some of you may know, we have another show called Getting Fat, where Joe and I try to lose weight, but really I just gain a bunch, and we kind of go back and forth.
You might not be the only one.
I'm up to like 210.
Don't say that.
It doesn't matter. But anyway, we're going to be canceling that show because spoilers.
We've given up. It's over.
We've given up, and also we want to add that as a segment within this show so that we all are kind of part of it. And you think about it, it makes sense. We're all trying to do this thing. We're trying to do this gaming show.
We're all getting fat.
3 of us are going to school. Yeah, we're not in good shape, so we need to try to, pull that in so that we can be healthy individuals. Most of us healthy individuals
As video gamers,
throughout
we
this
actually
experience.
Healthy lifestyle.
Exactly. So bringing that in, and maybe not even physically healthy, but like mentally or whatever you want to, emotionally, whatever the hell it is, we want to
Get
do.
outside and enjoy sunshine every now and then.
Yeah, we want to do a New Year's resolution kind of thing to start getting fat as a segment within Nude Clan Gaming.
Si, senor. So we've all come here with our New Year's resolutions. Have we not?
I think so.
Okay.
And I think you should start, Joe, since you have like 4 times the list that we
I
do.
always hated New Year's Eve.
Like, we'll do a weekly
And your
checkup on
family
this
sits
shit.
down around the table and then they discuss.
I've never had
you
this
want-
experience.
What do you want to do this next upcoming?
Yeah, neither have I.
Well, maybe it was my family.
Nope.
I hated that. I hated like sitting down. Okay, kids, now write down what you're going to be doing, and we're going to put it up on the cork board.
We don't have a
Isn't it
corkboard
weird
here,
what you
Cameron.
think is like normal, but then everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I thought New Year's resolution was something. You said
Doesn't
you would
everybody
do, but then
spend
really
Christmas
didn't do.
naked with their family? Doesn't everybody? Oh, okay, all right. That's just weird and incestuous. That is, let's be clear, that is not what I do for Christmas.
That's just what he does.
Keep it in the family.
Aww.
All right, so Joe, what are your New Year's
Okay, I got a few. First off, I want to be a nicer person this year.
When were you planning on starting this?
I started today.
Okay.
Actually, I started yesterday. I'm trying not to overtly be a jerk this year. And last year, I was very
My way or the highway.
angry, and I was very jerkish. And I say was like I'm still not the same person, but
I have
am the same
evolved
person.
in the last day.
And here's the thing.
Transcended,
I
you might say.
was reading some philosophy books recently, which we'll also get into a little bit, I think, here. And there's this whole idea of stoicism with these old Greek guys and these Roman guys. And this dude named Marcus Aurelius, who's not that good of a person in real life, had some interesting philosophies that I would like to follow, despite what he not following them at all. He killed a bunch of Christians anyway, but he was all about being a nice person and all that other stuff. It's basically about being open to people and not letting your temper get a hold of you. So.
It's so great because Cameron was making some noise right before Joe said that. And he like shoved his head all violently. I couldn't tell from over here.
From a verbal standpoint, I'm going to try to not
Physical.
I'm going to try to not insult people this year.
Damn. All right. What else? What else you got?
Try. That's not like a solid.
Use your fists, not your words.
Actions speak louder than words, I found.
No. Just when I don't get along with people, I don't want to call them an idiot or anything like that. Just like I'll try to be more.
And he does do that quite often. So
yeah. I don't know. Let's go around and just discuss one at a time because I got a big list.
One at a time.
Yeah, Cameron, what's a goal of yours this year?
Okay. All right, let's just go with the goal that's out there for all of us. It's getting in shape. I kind of want to get back to where I was about 2 years ago. About when I broke myself.
Skinny as hell.
So to get back to where I was about 2 years ago, I did something, I don't know what I did to my hip, but now it hurts to do anything too long.
Old man.
I've even gone as far as hiring a personal trainer. I get 2 times a month I get to go to a personal trainer to help strengthen
Seems like a
my
ripoff.
body. I know. But it is now I am financially invested in this, and so if I shirk it off, it's like I am shooting myself in the foot. So now I have actual financial investment.
And thus
on
your
this.
foot will be hurting too.
I actually have to go to the gym now and then make progress that this other person can see that I'm making progress. So it's an actual thing that I'm going to be doing now.
Okay.
Cameron, I want us to look at our schedules since we go to the same gym. I want us to look at our schedules and just go to the fucking gym at the same time.
Sounds good to me.
Because it's easier to go to the gym if you're
With a
going with
partner.
someone else.
Yeah.
And I've been paying for this fucking gym membership, and I went,
So maybe the financial investment
maybe
is
10
not
times.
enough.
It's not enough. I can promise you that. I don't have the physical trainer, though, so I don't have to look someone in the eye when I don't go to the gym.
When you fail.
But
Well, now there's 3 of us to look in the eye.
so I would let's go.
failure.
Let's try to go to the gym like 2 or 3 times a week together.
Okay.
All right. What about you, Craig?
I know that last year Joe had the 365 out of 365
Jesus.
movies, and I think he wants to do that again. But now it's 366.
It just doesn't have the same tune to it. It just sounds like, what the fuck? 365 can only be a year. 366 can be anything.
It can also be a year.
It can,
No
but
way.
it's only every 4 years.
It's special this year.
Are you gonna try to do the same thing?
I am going to do the same thing, but it's going to be combined with my other goal of becoming
It's
the
a lifetime
animated
goal.
film master,
Okay.
which I will watch
Yeah.
every single animated film ever released.
That he can get a hold of.
Yeah.
That has been translated into English.
Are we talking
Yeah,
about any level of animated, like
Animated.
children?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to tell you right
released
now, the
in
Care Bear
theaters.
stuff is going to drive me insane.
No, released in theaters. Because that's what the list that you printed
Yeah,
off is.
yeah, it's
the Wikipedia every feature-length animated film released in theaters.
Oh, okay.
basically.
That's why
So
earlier...
it's not gonna be every TV special.
So we're talking about like Pixar, Disney, all these little.
Eventually,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
There's other stuff, too. There was-
Russian animation.
Ooh.
There's a big Russian animated history there, which none of us have gotten into.
It's going to be fun.
Are you doing stop motion as well, or is it only
I am doing
cell
stop
shade?
motion.
Okay. So you got to start with Prince Ahmed and that one Fox movie.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some really old ones.
I gotta like look these up, find them somewhere.
Well, you might be able to borrow my Netflix account for a little bit. My
I
DVDs.
got Netflix.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do the same thing as Cameron. I'm just going to try to get into shape. I want to get back down to like 170, be damn good looking. And see, the problem is I'm starting to lose all my hair. And, I can accept being bald, but I can't accept being bald and fat. I can't have both. And the fat can go away. The hair can't come back yet.
The hair can go away too.
It's going away.
What if you got fat and then all your hair came back?
I would probably stay fat.
Really? You want to be full head.
It depends on how fat I have to get. If I gain like another 5 pounds and my hair just comes back, then
Look
yes,
how full Caleb's hair is.
Yeah.
not worth it. But I just want to get back into shape. I mean, I've let myself go. I used to care about it a lot, and now I just other things have gotten in the way, and I've just been kind of lazy. So what I'm planning on doing is, now that I'm going back to school as well, I'm just going to try to go work out at the gym there because it's part of the tuition, and that way I can kind of justify the unholy amounts of money I'm spending on the small amount of credits I'm going through.
Stop your membership at the rec center?
I think it's already expired.
Oh.
I think it was a 1-year thing.
Work out with us.
Yeah, go to Vasa.
Maybe. I don't know.
Come.
Oh, yeah.
What? Anyway, Joe version.
You can't just do it on command.
Round 2. Well, I'm getting close, but
I'm dittoing that 365 movies in 365 days, which means I
Perfect.
have to watch 2 movies tonight.
let's go watch them. Fuck it, we're ending here.
Yeah, just ended. So that's one. I also want to read 25 books by the end of the year. And right now I'm going through the Harvard Classics. I was listening to a podcast called the Heritage Podcast.
Yes,
and his whole thing. What the fuck, dude?
You gestured to me and you told me to go listen to it before.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
I thought you were
So you were like, oh, I know. And like, the audience hasn't heard this. Fuck you.
You were gesturing to me, telling me to go download it again, which I'm doing right now.
No. Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's a good podcast. Anyway, his whole thing was that he was trying to create a liberal arts education, in podcast form. That's his whole thing. So like by the end of his podcast run, you could just listen to the podcast in place of doing a liberal arts degree, which is a nothing degree. And he was talking about other alternatives that he was trying to emulate in some way. And you can go to Johns Hopkins University and they just have people read books and talk about what they read, basically. And these books are old books, basically like the source of knowledge, and ideas for humanity. And there's another thing called the Harvard Classics, where the president of Harvard decided to, he made some statement about, basically everything. You could have a 4-year Harvard education by reading, enough books that would fit on a 5-foot shelf, basically. So it's like, it wasn't really that much, and you could, within a year, get a Harvard education without going to Harvard.
Yeah.
And a publishing company said, okay, well, you pick the books and we will publish it for you. And this was in like 1909 or something like that. So it was, turn of the century Harvard guy. And he said, okay. And him and like the English professor, they went through and they decided what the wealth of human knowledge was up to that point. Now, I know they were missing quite a few things, and it's not like everything on the planet is within the books that they picked, but it's basically a 52-volume collection of just kind of human thought. And so I have decided that I will read the Harvard Classics. And so that's part of my 25 books in a year thing. And I've gone through almost 2 volumes of it so far. And it's so far what I've read has been really enlightening and awesome. So I hope that it continues. Eventually it turns into like sciencey stuff as well. And that might be a little hard to get through, like the Charles Darwin. But
That would be one to say, hey, I finally read it.
Yeah, well, I want to at the end go, I have a Harvard education.
According to 1909.
Why would you want
turn
that,
of the
though?
century Harvard education.
Turn of the century.
We're talking like liberal
There are
arts
large
degree.
words there.
You want to have 2 degrees? You can't do
Liberal
anything
arts-
with
He basically just wants to say what every person that went to Harvard says.
No, I understand. I'm just being a dick.
Now, here's the thing. With a liberal arts education, there are different kinds of educations out there. And some of them are like technical trades and stuff like that, and those are useful. But the liberal arts education is so, basically I think it was the Greeks, people were educated in this fashion, this old kind of philosophy fashion, so that they were basically a man who knew enough so that they could make public decisions, so they could vote, basically. Like, they were worthy of that.
Yeah.
And so it's just basically, a knowledge for yourself. It's not to have a degree or anything.
No,
like
that's
that.
how I feel about the people I don't know, when in college, I don't know if you got a lot of this, but in my degree, there's people who are like, oh, I have to take a philosophy class or a science class.
I hated philosophy class.
I loved it.
It was how it was set up, not what I was learning there.
I loved what I learned.
It was
and
the class.
They're like, I just want to do what I need to for my career. I'm like, then go to a fucking trade school. This is where you get smart, you fuck. Learn.
This is where you done get smart.
Yes. And it always shit me off. So I understand where you're coming from.
Well, I just want to be more knowledgeable. I'm not a naturally smart person. I took that Mensa pretest, and I was like right on the average, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm not that smart. I guess
I'm
an average. Mensa is an IQ test. It's the pretest to see where you kind of will be on the real test. And I took it, and I was on the average, and so I was like, I guess I can only be more knowledgeable and not actually be naturally smart. So I'm not a naturally intelligent person. Like, math's really hard for me to comprehend and stuff like that. So I just want to be a more knowledgeable person, which is one of my goals. And so I would like to read 25 books, most of those being the Harvard classics as I go along through those.
That's solid. I want to read more too. What about you, Cameron? What's your second round?
That goal there, I might have to copy. I don't know if I'm going to copy exactly, but
Harvard classics are $2 on Kindle, by the way. You get all the volumes.
Ooh, $2?
Yeah.
They're all basically free.
They're all in the public domain, so you can buy them individually, but that is a pain in the ass on the Amazon store.
Yeah, you just have to download. Also keep in mind though, if you do that, for downloading stuff, Amazon will give you free gift cards occasionally.
I know.
So download each one of them individually, and then they'll give you 99 cents.
Exclusively Amazon. I was just wondering if you could get them on Audible. I'll have to take a look.
Some of them are on LibriVox.
This is a LibriVox production.
No, it's not all on there, believe me. Because it's a bunch of
quality.
It's a lot of small stuff. Like Fido is a really small thing to go through, and so it will be on LibriVox, but it won't be on. Audible.
It's like your quality with your mic that you're using in a fucking auditorium.
I was thinking about volunteering for LibriVox, though. I'm like, there's some things on there that should probably just be on LibriVox.
Do they pay you to do that?
No, they don't. You volunteer.
Remember the volunteering part?
And I'm like,
the volunteering part.
I have a nice microphone, and I know how to make it sound good, so why not? But anyway.
And now you could use that for another job. Like, here's some of my portfolio.
Yeah, like if we wanted to get into actual radio instead of the future of radio.
Yeah.
That's true though. This is the new medium, but that would be cool.
So goal-wise, I have purchased a little notebook that's quite fat, and I'm going to carry around with me. It's actually in my little bag right now. But what I'm going to do with it is keep track of my budget. I'm going to keep track of every transaction I do just to find out where
look at this notebook?
No. I actually bought it and I was using it, but then the Vegas trip, before the Vegas trip was the Reno trip. It's just like huge trips we went on. I'm like, I'm not going to keep track of every expense.
Wait, the Reno trip?
Yeah, Godsmack.
Oh, that's right. I was trying to remember what other trip I went on in the last few months, and I'm like, I went somewhere.
But
it's Godsmack. You're right. Yeah. Sorry.
I got it before the Reno trip, and then I was doing pretty good up until I'm like, okay, the hotel's like $200. This whole paycheck's gone. So
yeah, Cameron makes like peanuts apparently.
Peanuts. I make peanuts.
He loves peanuts.
I have more.
That's what I heard.
Me too.
No, you would.
So I have more expenses than some people at this table whose parents still pay for everything. But anyways,
skirting the line. The personal line has been dipped.
He's testing Joe's new be nice.
Yeah. Someone's gonna get shoved.
That'll be the third.
Don't make me shove you.
Time this bitch. But anyways, I'm gonna.
It's not like I have rich parents. Let's be clear. My dad was in the army.
I know.
So it's not like I'm spoiled because I have rich parents or anything like that. So you can't get me on that. My dad saved up for my education. And then because my education's down here, I can't live up there. And so I pay for my living expenses, and they do pay for my car insurance, and I appreciate it very much. I pay for everything else.
Your phone bill?
No. We got the family plan.
And who fixed your car?
My father.
Okay. Anyways, I'm going to do a much better job of keeping track of my budget. to find out where it because I'm actually kind of confused to where it all goes as well.
Just because I have parents that love me.
Little stuff, Cameron. Little stuff is where it all goes.
That's how it's supposed. That's how I know. So I'm going to keep track of like if I eat out for lunch, as I usually do. Jimmy John's is just an easy solution if you don't bring lunch.
Yep.
And then
that's $4.
Boom, and plus tip. You have to tip
daily.
the driver.
Fuck
I don't
that.
do it daily. No,
Oh.
I try to scrounge as much as I can. So I'm going to keep better track of my transactions, and by keeping a budget book, that's going to help me do it.
Okay,
So
budget
the
book.
system worked out. And then Joe, it's
By
I'm
eating
just right
Joe's
here.
bananas, which he pays for.
You know, I did notice. I did notice when I went up into Cody's room. This is a roommate of Cameron and Joe. They have a lot of food in there.
Yeah, they have their own.
And I'm like, what's with all the food? And they're like, well, Joe keeps eating my food. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, he doesn't even ask. If he asked, I probably wouldn't care, but he doesn't.
What the fuck is he talking about?
That's what he told me.
Dude, there's pasta and shit in there. Like, it's nuts.
Okay, here's the thing. Me and Cody, before Sarah was a thing, had an agreement. Because Cody never ate leftovers at the time. Remember this?
Yeah. He never
And so
did.
he was like, well, you can just eat that. He usually just told me I could eat whatever was in there. And there was a point at which he was like, it's in there, you can eat it. Like, okay. And so that's what I've been doing, is I've just
Well, these are all uncooked
eating
foods,
his,
though.
but Sarah came into play and suddenly the leftovers are like a thing, but there was a time there where I didn't realize that there was a difference.
Yeah.
And then with Joe, though, one thing you have to understand: if you make at one point a verbal agreement, it is now law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you make a huge like
It's a
epic
verbal
change,
agreement.
It's like even if it's just like in
Well,
passing, something is
dude,
said briefly. It's law.
If you make an agreement like that, you probably should let him know that it's no longer valid.
It changed when Sarah came because Sarah's more like, "This is my food."
True. Sarah's actually the one paying for it, so. Anyway, Caleb, what about you? Round two on this.
You got another goal in mind besides your anime goal?
No, not really.
You said some stuff
Although I'll probably read some books. Already got one down. Read one today.
You read a whole book today
Yeah.
What book?
on audible.com?
No, not on Audible.
Times
It was
4
on
speed.
Kindle.
He's consuming media.
It was like 100
dare you.
pages, but I
There's
I tore
100
through it.
pages?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's doable.
Still counts, I guess.
Are you gonna put a limit on books too? You know, these little.
No, there's not going to be
As long as it has a plot line.
it doesn't have to be, if it,
Clifford the Red Dog.
whatever, okay. I'm not going to count.
He rescued the kids.
I'm not going to count
okay?
an essay, but if it has been published as its own thing.
essays, unless it's a published essay.
Well, if it's a published essay, yeah. If it's by itself in like a little like pamphlet almost book, yeah, I guess it counts. I got like the 60-page. I got the 60-page Aristotle's Poetics. It's got a front and a back cover. And it's
That's
by itself.
different. That's okay.
So
That's a
all it
book.
needs is a cover. That's it.
I'm just saying it has to be published by itself.
Look, if you question it, it's probably going to be
An essay is in a journal. An essay is in a journal. It's not always by, like, people don't just publish an essay, except
they
on a
do.
blog.
No.
A blog does not
Scientific
fucking
community-
count.
The scientific community publishes essays all.
Does it have a unique ISBN number?
I'm not sure. I could look into that.
Nah, I doubt it.
All right.
It doesn't really matter. Does it matter? It's your own personal goal, so you know what counts.
Yeah.
If you question it, it doesn't count.
It only counts if we're
It's a
actually...
separate
you'll
thing
know.
from the Hogshead Scam Cam, so you don't
Yeah.
need to worry about it.
I guess it's true.
Okay.
Um,
Got another goal besides getting in shape?
I don't know. Do well in my classes, I guess.
I was going to say that. Is it
Actually
going to
finish
school?
math this
Is
time.
it going
Yeah.
to school a goal of its own?
Well, I mean, and then the nice thing is my job is going to pay for half of all my costs. So as long as I get a B average, which is easy, is if I don't have a fucking math class in there. Not that I'm bad at math. I'm probably the best at math out of us. It's just remembering how to do
Said the
certain
guy who failed
certain
3
things.
times.
I only failed it twice, and one of them I had to leave.
You know how many times I failed math?
What's 9 times 7, Joe?
It's 0 times.
What's 9 times 7?
63.
It's 8 times 8.
64.
Yeah.
What
See,
the
that's
fuck,
shitty.
dude?
Shitty.
And that's arithmetic. That's not math.
It's math. It's
No,
all
it's
math.
not. Arithmetic's what you memorize.
Another semantic argument.
Jesus
going on.
Christ, it is semantics. God.
So anyway, I just want to do better in school.
Arithmetic is part of math.
Do well,
you're right.
pass
You're
my
right.
classes with a high GPA. Keep that shit up. And, yeah. I don't know. What is you guys' GPA?
What is a BR, guys'?
Yeah.
My GPA is 3.0.
Cameron?
It's 3.0. I'll have to look at it again.
Okay, mine's like 3.3.
Oh, I'll have to look at it again.
Is that what the
So we all want to do well, do better.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's.
Here's the thing.
School is
my
cool.
generals, I got a kind of a bad GPA, and then in my the stuff for my degree, I got a great GPA.
Well, yeah, I mean your degree is a
interested
friggin'.
in, you're invested.
It's a film degree. One of your classes, you literally watched.
so then it averages at
movies
3.0, and then I'm sad.
and then
So,
talked
you do a
about
film degree.
movies.
Sounds like
you don't
new
talk
business
about
degree.
No, it's different. It's not quite like that. I wish it was like that.
That's what film.
No, that's
intro
what
to film.
that's what like a cinema studies thing is, which is the intro to film class. That's an English kind of class.
English credit.
It's not. We work on the technical aspects basically, and sometimes there's a couple story classes.
That's because we're in Utah. They're realistic about it. They're like, you're not going to make the movie, but you could do this part of the movie.
You could work as a grip in Salt Lake. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's kind of how they approach it. So
Yeah, that is how they approach it. No, it's mostly a technical thing. So
All right.
get in shape and do better in school.
Yeah, well, I'll do well in school.
Okay.
I've been out for a few years, so I hope I'm not like shitty at it again.
Okay.
As long as I go, that's my big thing. If I start skipping, that's when it gets worse and worse.
Do we know when our graduations are supposed to be?
I have no idea.
Of course, these two have like full-time jobs. Caleb bought a house, and so thus can never take full-time school, and so school will take forever. Right?
I'm 60% done.
60? Okay.
Yeah.
Those percentages are not great.
No,
you can
it's-
see what semester you'll.
Wolverine track.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, I think it's probably going to be another year or two.
Okay.
I'm not going to go over summer, so it'll probably take a couple years.
My degree is going to be a 6.5-year bachelor's degree.
Fun.
Yeah. It'll be summer of 2017. I'll have been graduated.
Nice.
So my last semester will be spring of 2017.
Nice.
All right.
So
Hey, does anybody have any other resolutions besides Joe?
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure Joe has like 5 more.
I do have one. If I can just butt in.
yeah.
Might as well.
So I'm going into a
got
computer
2 more, by
science
the way.
major.
Oh.
Computer science major. So to supplement that, I decided I wanted to kind of go through an online language course, computer programming language course, because I don't know when I'm going to finally get into computer languages as a class.
Pretty
So-
early, I would assume.
Well, going my pace.
In 10 years. Well, then you'll have to relearn those languages because computer science degrees are out of date as soon as you graduate.
Right. So that's why I want to start spending time in more of
I
like
heard that from a
an
computer science
online,
guy.
more of like a app type programming language. So I'm thinking, do I get into JavaScript? How about, I know the Ruby's becoming a thing, but I don't want to get into something like that before I get into roots of, computer programming.
C++, dude.
C++.
Video gaming. Come on.
So I'm going to pick a language, but then it's going to be my goal to learn a decent amount of that language.
Hi.
Not that type of language. Computer language. I already know another language.
I think I'll have to take Japanese
along with
1 a
that-
third time.
Well,
A
along with
third
that,
time?
Oh, I'm going to beat the shit out of it, too.
I
Yeah,
think
you
I wanna
will.
learn an instrument too. So, Joe, if you have any extra spare time, I'd love to learn an instrument
I've
sometime.
given you my spare time. You never ask me, though.
I know. I have to
That
make it
ain't
a
my
thing.
problem. All right. I'll help you if you
flesh.
ask me. God, guys, Caleb's picking a zit.
Oh,
No, it's probably more like an ingrown hair.
Oh, is that what it is?
it's like pulling your.
How long is the hair?
I don't know, dude. It's probably been there for a long fucking time. All right, Caleb, are you done with yours?
Yeah.
I also want to learn an instrument. I want to learn how to play the guitar.
Guitar?
Yep.
Do you have a guitar?
Nope.
Guitar.
You gonna get a guitar?
I probably should.
Okay.
One time I let him borrow my guitar for like 6 months or something like that. How often did you pull it out?
Like 6 or 7 times.
Nice.
I did a bunch.
So you gonna do Rock Band? The Rock Band challenge? Dude, do Rock Band for the Nude Clan.
You mean Rocksmith?
Rocksmith.
Rocksmith.
Yeah, fuck Rock Band. Do Rocksmith.
I'm thinking about it. That's a cool way to do it, and I think it'd be fun to have.
I couldn't re-download it. I don't know how.
I got it on my computer, so if it stops overheating, you might be able to play some Rock Band.
Yeah,
or
I think
Rocksmith.
it'd be
Whatever
good.
the fuck the fucking game is called, okay?
Because I am capable of making music. I have before. It's just I don't know. I just need to dedicate time
Produce
to
a
it.
tune.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, I play instruments already, so I'm not gonna do that as my goal.
You can always improve.
I improve every time I play.
I don't know about that.
Play.
There was a gap where you weren't
Okay,
as
you know
good
what?
as you were.
When I had like guitar lessons regularly, that does keep you like on your toes, and so you're really doing well. So
I feel like you may have been better when you lived in the Provo place near my old place. Maybe not better than now, but
No,
you were better than
I
you
wasn't
were
better.
before.
I wasn't better then to now. I think I'm a better player than I was then. My final goal, I have a screenplay that I've been slowly working on, and I want to finish that, at least a first draft of that by the end of the year, and also bring up my typing speed. I've been a horrible typist, and I want to bring up my typing to over 40 words per minute and type correctly, which I have not been doing my entire life. And so right now, every time I type, I try to type with the correct fingering, and it has been a pain in the ass. And I hope to I will continue through that goal to the end of the year.
What's your words per minute right now?
And just like,
Like 14.
Oh my
Oh
god!
man, I'm faster than you, and I peck.
No. I'm not talking about my words per minute when I do the 3-finger technique, which is my base technique. I'm talking about, that's my
The
words
old
per minute when I've been
3-finger.
typing.
Oh, when you
correctly.
actually type the right way.
Yeah.
how many words?
So I want to go up. I want to go up for 40 words per minute. No one can hear you, by the way.
No, I didn't want them to.
Okay. I want to go up to 40 words per minute. So did we have any other goals?
I think that might be all.
Okay,
Okay, Kim.
interject. I think that's something we should all do and bring to the table. Let's do the same like words per minute count.
Jesus
See what we
Christ.
can-
No,
Do you guys know what yours is at?
I don't.
Mine's at like 90.
I know mine's.
Mine's
Fuck
dude.
you.
Words? Jeez, dude.
I know mine's pretty up there because I could just be typing away at work. Just
Mine's like 27, just pecking.
One of the guys in my group, his is like 136 or something like that. He is fast,
I remember
man.
when
I text
typing class
on
was a thing.
T9 typer than I type on the faster than I type
Typer
on the
that I
computer.
type.
Fuck you.
Holy
I remember
shit.
there was this girl. This is back when we had to take typing
Oh, I
classes in
remember this
school.
girl too.
And she was.
Oh, she was.
140.
We all remember
She
her.
could do 140 words per minute. It was insane.
Nah, damn,
Jesus,
that's
dude.
fast, man.
It was just like printing.
I think Tebow's mom does 180.
Oh my! I didn't.
Oh my god.
I don't know. That's fast. Like on that
I
typing,
think so. I think I heard that once, and I was like,
on that typing website, the highest I've seen is 142.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm pulling that.
Unless
out of my
she's
ass.
like inhuman.
I remember it being like some
Brainiacs.
sick amount. I thought it was 180 was the number I have in my head, but I
I mean,
could be
that's
wrong.
possible, I guess.
It could have just been 80. Like that is possible.
In the
also,
same class, there was also a kid who didn't have full hands. He was birth defect as he was born. His like
It's not a
pinky was
defect.
his pinky was coming out of his ring finger and stuff like that. He had basic.
Could he move it?
hands. Yeah, he could.
Oh,
move it.
God.
But his typing, like they even had a news crew come to school because his typing skills were insane.
look at this freak.
Look at that pinky.
I was like, he doesn't let his disadvantagement take him down. He was like, I swear he was still doing like 100 words per minute. And,
Damn.
And he was just like, there's that pinky coming out of his ring finger.
Pinky's just like flailing. Damn.
Well, is that our goals right now? Do you guys have a poundage goal? Yours is 170.
Yeah.
Cameron?
190 was me
Poundage.
being wasted away.
You were pretty skinny.
So I'm thinking 200 with muscle is my goal.
Cameron's kind of a big guy. He's a little taller than the rest
I'm
of
6
us.
foot flat. 6 foot flat.
I remember 5'11".
Yeah, that was a little bit ago.
Oh yeah, like you just grew an inch.
Last time I went to the doctor, it was measured 6 foot flat. So I'm going to trust the doctor's measurement over you guys with the freaking ruler.
Was it the doctor or was it the nurse?
The nurse, sorry. The nurse.
Oh boy, she didn't have as much schooling, Cameron.
Oh my god.
Trust the man who can open your body
They
up.
have that little like measurements thing that sticks out and sits on top
Trust
of your
the man who can open your body up.
Yeah.
Open your body to me.
That's the thing. He doesn't. Hey, doctor, can you measure me? I don't trust your nurse.
You could say that.
Yeah, go and then he's like, no, 5'11" and 3/4. You're like, fuck! Fuck you! Say 6 foot! Say it!
No, seriously, the nurse measured me at 6 foot.
All right, whatever. And then Cody got measured by the Marines at 6'1", and that's
No,
a
he
fucking lie.
didn't.
That's what he said.
5'9".
Nah, he's a little taller.
Okay.
Yeah, he's taller than us, so.
So yeah, Cameron's a little bigger dude. So 190 is pretty skinny. You
was
were
way
really
smaller.
dying. I was disgusted. You weighed the same as me when you came back. And I did not look like I was wasting away. It was more like, God, you're getting fat.
Yeah.
What about you, Craig? You got anything?
For losing weight?
Big goal.
Probably should.
Yeah, no,
You think so?
Yeah, I think that's just going to be the goal, is to probably should lose
Oh, okay.
weight.
Okay.
Yeah, so the rest of your life is
Yeah.
just like the previous.
Yeah. Just leave it.
Just
I
tell
should
us-
probably lose weight.
come back
maybe.
every time you see us. Yeah, it's about 50 pounds lighter. It's like, what's the number? 50 pounds.
50 pounds.
It fluctuates 50 pounds, man. What can I say?
Pound fluctuation.
I have a
bowel movement.
10 to
It fucking
20 pound
is.
fluctuation myself, where like it's really easy for that first 10 to 20 pounds, and then after that it's like
Same here.
I can't move.
If I go like half a week of dieting, I'll be back down
So
to what I was
I want to
before.
drop down to under 230. Because at 230, I feel pretty good about myself. Like I become a good-looking guy again.
That's kinda where my
Instead of a
body
fat
wants to go
fuck.
to. That's where my body wants to go to. Is
I was
230.
once a decent-looking human being, but I'm about 30 pounds over the decent-looking. That's where it's gone.
So
So
230 is like where if I don't do too much exercising, that's where my body just stays.
that's where I want to be.
And that's where my clothes are kind of tight. And it shows.
No. You're fat.
I said over the holidays I wasn't going to worry about it, so my clothes are tight right now. It's bugging me.
Mine aren't, but I'm weighing more. I think it's mostly just junk. I don't know. Fluctuation.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we have our goals, and we
So,
will be
Nude
checking in
Clan.
with you guys.
Yeah.
Nude Clan is this is nice. This is nice. That's good.
I like
Nice.
this.
All right. Well, guys, join us next week. Go to nudeclan.net if you want. You can follow me on Twitter at Joseph DeGolier. That's DEGOLYER.
My Twitter to follow, but don't we have like little forums on our
I just
Nude Clan?
yeah, you can join the forums if you wish.
And then we will be there on those forums.
Yes,
Yep.
we will.
Caleb, you
We
got
might be
any
the
plugs?
only people on the forum. Do you not have a
Talking
Twitter,
to each other
Cameron?
like we normally do. I do have a Twitter, but not yet. Not for this.
You do
portion
have a
of my life.
Twitter, but not yet. That doesn't make any
yeah.
sense.
I had
Caleb
There's
Craig.
a future Twitter account.
Caleb Craig, you got a Twitter?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Honestly, I have no idea.
So that people from Nude Clan can follow him.
Yes.
No.
So what's
that
your
is,
Twitter
that is
account?
now what it is
Desolate.
for.
What's your tweet whore? You followed me the other day.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's at Obsidian Ba.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Obsidian, the word, and then BAH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's all one word.
you guys can follow me or Ultima Final Fantasy at UFF Podcast. I'm pretty much the only one that uses it. Joe uses it occasionally,
I do.
but
Don't you have a separate one?
Yeah,
No,
you
I
have to
don't.
have a
That's my
separate
only
one for Nude
Twitter.
Clan.
hell no.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Tweet me at UFF Podcast.
Yeah.
I ain't making a second
And
one.
you can listen to UFF podcasts.
Yeah.
Just go to iTunes or whatever you get your podcast. Search Ultima Final Fantasy. It's the greatest Final Fantasy podcast on the planet. So if you're into Final Fantasy, go check that out. You can also check out Caleb's show, super sexy swinging fan fiction.
Yep.
Which is if you got the stomach for it, it's a funny show.
Did you listen to the last one? Like I told
I
you to?
did. I listened to the last
That one was pretty good, I think.
That was pretty good.
It's a lot of fun. We read erotic fan fiction or just bad fan fiction or occasionally good fan fiction that's not erotic and good fan fiction that is erotic.
Okay.
So it's really whatever the
variety
fuck we
there.
come up with.
What's with all this eroticism?
I love
It was just supposed to be a bad fan fiction show, but it turns out bad fan fiction equals erotic fan fiction.
Yeah,
That's all fan fiction is.
it's true. So yeah, check that out. And I mean, Joe's got his own little Godzilla podcast.
I do the Godzilla podcast. Check that out if you're into Godzilla. You can also go to GodzillaPodcast.com. So nudeclan.net, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.
Enjoy.
Yeah!